Hello, it's Greg Alice from Green Greg's coming to you on 30 March 22. Time on deck is 23:59 hours Central Daylight Time. Yes, a minute to midnight. So it's just barely still the 30th for just a few more seconds. I would have come on here about 30 minutes earlier, except my computer froze out on me. It locked up on me, which it does that a lot lately. I got to replace this thing. It's giving me too many issues. The problem is I got to take it in and get the whole motherboard replaced, and just I need a lot more RAM and a few other things. A new operating system. This thing is ancient and just requires replacement. Problem is we got so much going on in the world. I hate having this computer down right now, but I'm gonna have to do it because she's killing me. So I might be operating from my laptop with a really bad camera or something for a few days here. I've had so many important videos lately, guys. How's everybody doing? Well, we've had some really stormy nights. If you're just joining this video now, I've got a lot of new subscribers and you want to know what this is all about. Here's what we do on my channel. We come in here a couple nights a week and we just do a live chat as a chance for you guys to ask me anything under the sun. On my channel, we're a family. That's what you'll find it real fast. A lot of us are just a family. And this is the one time that we can kind of get together without worrying about social distance and all the taboos. A lot of families are still not getting together. A lot of families still aren't having their normal family reunions. So we're a family here. And we got 21 in the room. Yeah, we're kind of late here tonight. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, my computer just went and I had to reboot. Yeehaw. Anyway, so we got Jessica's two-car garage in the room. Good to see you, Cassandra. RJ Sunflowers, hello from East Tennessee. Well, I hope you guys are going to be okay with these storms are heading your way. Bugsy, we'll talk about whether or not. Jason Smith, how are you doing? I see Rogue 222, howdy. Hey, we got Katie, New Days Always, and evening, folks. Kiwi MacArthur, hello from New Zealand. Hey, we got New Zealand in the house, just a few folks, and we have New Zealand here. That's great. Camo underwear with the Union 76 logo. Howdy, GG. And Joseph says, good morning, everyone. Well, it is now morning here too by now 2 minutes. So much for Wednesday night. Well, we got started just barely by my time on Wednesday night. Holy guac and smoke-a-moly, guys. Wow, we've had a lot of stuff going on. I have tried to bring you some really good interviews. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Hi, TJ, how you doing? Veronica Vandever, how you doing, Veronica? If I recall you right, you're just down the road from me. Still Roz, how you doing? And then let's see here. We're going to look around here on some of the news that's going on. I will go share here for just a second. And oh, you know what? I should crank open my laptop. Hang on, I usually set that up while this stuff's going on, but I got so distracted with my computer trying to get it reset. I didn't do my normal gig of setting up my laptop. Give me a second here. And while we're at it, I will go ahead and start sharing. Bing, bing. How about that, guys? Give me a second. One momentum, please. We're going to go ahead and go here to windy, because it has been windy today, especially right here. We've had a lot of wind, and you guys up in East Tennessee are getting this now. And Eastern Alabama and Northwest Georgia. Let's see here if I can get that to go away there. There we go. Here is the winds. You can see they're coming right through here, going up and up into Indiana and Ohio. Wow. So it's really stormy in these areas. You can see a little bit of a temperature difference, 61 over here and 75 in Chattanooga, roughly. See, Chattanooga 75, and let's see, back over here just west of me is 61. That's quite a temperature difference right there of about 14 degrees. So that just says that, yeah, that tells you something about the storm, a little bit of a cool front behind it. We've had a really warm day here today, and it's not good before you get a storm to heat up, because that's just more energy for these storms. Hopefully where I live, it didn't translate into any major storms, but south of me, we've had a lot of tornadoes. You know, I was watching, what's the guy's name? Brian Hall. He has a YouTube channel. He covers the weather live. It's gotten where the local channels just aren't covering it much like they used to. So you almost have to go to somebody like him. And he was talking about, at times he would have 10 or 12 live tornado warnings at one time. I think he might have got up to a dozen today. So it was a pretty nutty day. Let's see. I'm going to try to put my computer on my Wi-Fi and my phone here. Give me a second, guys. Ding, 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 ding. Where am I hunting here? Settings. Takes me a second to get everything set up sometimes and get it done properly. Connections, mobile hotspot. Bing. Yeah, it's trying to log into my other Wi-Fi. There we go. I'm going to plug in my phone so it can be a hot source here. Losing some battery. All right, now I'm going to go here to the network on my phone and change its network. I don't even see the new network yet. Takes it just a second. Here we go. All right, they don't have internet yet. Anyway, hopefully we'll get that going here. But look at this, guys. This is where the storm's at. And we've had a lot of tornadoes all in this area right now, probably Mobile. In this area, you're probably still having tornadoes and storms because it has been intense down here, very intense. Okay, we got this thing up. Hang on. I like to be able to keep up with the chat. For me to do that and show these screens, I need to log in with my laptop. So I watch the channel from there. And I should have done this earlier. Like I said, I was distracted by the storm. So it didn't happen right now. All right. What the world is all this stuff? All right, all right. Why are too many windows trying to open up on me here? Okay. This thing is charged up. And let's see, I should be able to find maybe. There we are. Over here. And we're going to go to Green Greg's. It should just take me a second, guys. Sorry about this. So if you're just doing me and you've never been with me before, this just takes a second. I normally have this done earlier. It's just like I said, I had some issues on my computer. I'm just trying to keep up with what you're saying to me as I'm talking to you. And that's why I'm doing this. And I got that up. And there's our live session. Click that and I'll be in. Okay. We're going to look around the country here some, see what's going on. It's freezing up here in Iowa and the Dakotas. Look here, 23 degrees in North Dakota. All right, 25 degrees up here. So we got Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. Oh, there are 50 degrees up here. That's pretty. We got a warm pocket here in southern Alberta compared to what's going on around it. That's interesting. Relatively warm compared to everything around it. Northern Manitoba, 28, 21 up here in northern Saskatchewan. So there's a lot of temperature variation here across the map. Cold temperatures dipping way down into here. Look here, 19 degrees in northern Colorado. 19 degrees down here. I don't even see 19 degrees in northern Alberta or Saskatchewan. We got 21 degrees where it's close, but way down here in Colorado, it's 19 degrees. You know, it's due to elevation. It's got to be due to elevation. That's a good elevation right here. Got to be. It's got to be up in the Rocky Mountains. Jackson County Airport. Well, it's an airport. 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that's highly entertaining. Highly entertaining. If we come out here west to Show Low, which is just north of my property in Arizona, it's 43 degrees. Now, Show Low would be a little cooler than Snowflake. We could go in here real quick and see what it is. Snowflake. Show Low's just a little higher. Got trees. Oops. There we go. Now this computer's got up to the video. It's all live. Let's see what everybody's saying since I missed you guys. We have sustained a hot wind, says Judy. Wow. Cole Parrish, even Greg and I. Wow, y'all did a lot of chat since I was on here live. So good. Looking at it, I'll be able to keep up with what you guys are saying now. Wow, y'all did a lot of chatting. Behind now. All right, what I want to do here is kind of move around the country. And we can see we got mixture of temperatures. It's just mixed up all in one area, above freezing, below freezing. A lot of this is due to elevation, of course. Let's go up here in British Columbia and look around. Oh yeah, I've dialed in. Let's go back here to show low. I went in low. Show low. What happened? Wow. I hit something that knocked me way out. I don't know how that happened. So let's dial back into Earth again. We'll look at rainfall totals and I hope my computer don't stick on me. I've got an issue with this computer. The mouse will stick. If it does, whatever I'm last doing, it's going to get stuck there. If it does that, we'll just talk until the video's over. All right. Painted Desert, 46. That's just above me, Painted Desert. Let's see, 44. 39 over here. And 43-inch show low. All right, 45, 44, 48, 46. Dial in a little bit more. Whoop. Come on. Thought I hit the plus button. Computer's got a mind of its own, I do believe. There we are, snowflake, 44. That's what I was trying to get to. Let's go back out here. Let's see what it is up in Alaska. All right, 19 up here. Look at the same. You got to go way up to Alaska to get the temperatures of Colorado, where it's 19. Right here, Indian Mountain. But look, it's 12 over here at the border with Eagle Airport. 10 up here in Fort Yukon. 3 degrees at Arctic Village. I mean, that sounds like a good Arctic temperature. 19 at at McKinley. Allen Army Airfield. That's the airfield. I used to run right down by that airfield all the time, many, many moons ago. Yep. That is on Fort Greely. Fort Greely, my home for 2 years. -11. All right. -13. That's all right. Over here, -15 at Barter Island. That's the coldest temperatures I'm seeing on here today. Oh no, -24. -24. I haven't seen cold temperatures this year up in Alaska in this area. Guys, I've seen it -79 degrees ambient at Fort Greely there at the Allen Army Airfield. It's been -79 degrees. This last year or two, I haven't seen anything even close to that. Nowhere close to that. I mean, that's what I would call baked Alaska. It's warm up there, guys, compared to what it used to be. Warm, very warm, not a little bit warm, but very warm. I mean, used to even in a cool winter, we consider -40 to be a warm winter. I haven't seen -40. I haven't seen -30. It's about as cold as I've seen it up in this area all winter. And that's very strange. Very strange indeed. Do we have Arnold Schmidt in the house tonight? Maybe he could comment on this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to check the messages again here in a second. So what we're going to do, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. See what's going on here. Chewy Weather. Chewy Weather is gives me a lot of good updates about what's going on. He was kind of keeping me briefed all night here. It's been colder than Maine than Alaska this year. Yeah, it's crazy. Speaking of which, we'll come back over Maine and see what it's looking like right now. Here, Fort Stephen Airport, 8 degrees. Here. Yeah, get right here to the James Bay, Hudson Bay area. Labrador, 30. Oh, look at it. It looks kind of cold up here in Maine. It's deep blue. Definitely had some cold temperatures up there. There are 28 degrees over here in New Brunswick. So I know your area is probably high 20s, early 30s right in this area where you're at. All right. Well, there we are, guys. Let's look at rainfall. Rain and thunder. All right, here's the storm system, guys, right here. We got the tail end of it where I'm at right now. We're under the tail end here. Madison Executive Airport. Well, I live right about here, guys. So, yeah, we've had some storms. This is where it's been most, this is where it is currently most intense. Right in here and here. Very intense down here, guys. Very, very intense. We need to pray for some of these folks. A lot of people have lost the roofs, and there's been a lot of home damage. I don't know of any fatalities. We won't know the full extent of these storms until tomorrow. Tomorrow, guys. Well, what's going on in Alaska? It's not been cold. We've not had a cold winter up there. I would say it's been a hot winter. I won't even say cool. It's been hot for those temperatures. For Alaska, come on. I went to Fairbanks, Alaska, and it was 0 degrees, and I've been seeing 40 below or colder for a couple months, and I thought I hit a heat wave. I was flinging my park off, looking to go to the beaches. Now, I don't see no temperatures like that. No, yeah, I'll tell you what, the sun is throwing out storms like crazy. It's got sunspots like crazy. I think grand solar minimum is over. It didn't really pan out this time around, I don't think. I think we didn't get a moderate minimum type thing. I think it's ended because the sun has woke up and she is steaming. She's throwing out storms like crazy. Hey, Doug, how you doing? I was shocked when I started, he started grading me for being in the Army. Oh, wow. Yeah, hey, somebody's been attacking Doug. When we need to spank him, I believe. Doug, if you want to share this guy's channel, maybe we all need to storm. If this guy gets live, we should all go on his channel and harass him, because this guy's, some guy out there is unduly picking on Doug, saying his channel will never amount to anything. Who's this jerk? Anyway, Doug's a good guy. And I got a lot of contacts from Doug. In fact, I got the contact for our guy just interviewed tonight. Altitude left off, everyone. That's right. Hey, Lo. Exactly there, Dragons and Seven Apples. Altitude left off. Debbie, how you doing? The watchman, the fire was burning all the way up to the snow. Oh my God, and around the snow in Colorado. Holy smoke. World News report today. That's the guy. Alaska's warmer during the monitor. You know what? You're right, Jason. You got a point. That's true. That's true. In fact, during the Ice Age, Alaska was where they didn't have the glaciers. So it is kind of a temperature shift. I forget about that. It throws me off sometimes. It just seems so odd to me when it's so warm up there. He smokes pot on live stream. Well, who is he to talk with him? What a jerk. What an idiot. What a buffoon. What a buffoon, guys. We're on News Report today. If anybody gets on that channel, blast him. Go check him out occasionally just to blast him. Anyway, Doug's a good guy. We don't need anybody trouncing Doug. Cha-Cha. How you doing, Cha-Cha? And Granny Land's with us. All right, we're getting folks in the house now. The family's all arriving. We got 73 here. Yeah, here we are today, guys. Here's the storms we've been going through. There's still a lot of it out in the Atlantic. There's probably more in this. It's just not on radar. It's all feeding up. So we're seeing that Louisiana get pounded. Mobile is about to get this. The stuff hadn't even got to Mobile yet. Lake Pontchartrain has just passed through there. There was reports of water spouts on Lake Pontchartrain. What? 26? Are we serious? That's got to be a bad data point right there. I don't buy that one, guys. 26 in Louisiana? Nah. Sometimes you have to throw out a sensor reading. Sometimes you just get a bad sensor reading. When you get once way off, scientists, they'll throw it out. They'll throw out that little piece of data that's considered a bad sensor. In that case, I would call that a bad sensor. I don't believe it's 26 in Louisiana right Nope, not for a minute. Look here, it's 57 way up here. And I believe that's in, yeah, Kentucky. 46 up here in Missouri. Yeah. So how's it 20 something in the 20s in Louisiana? No, that ain't happening tonight. Not tonight, not right now at least. All righty. I don't know that. Yeah, maybe the Grand Solar minimum is still cooking. But guys, it's what the sun is really getting active. So that's what, well, but I did a report last winter where I said that some of the scientists had said that when one cycle cuts a little bit short between certain parameters, you get a real active solar cycle following that. They predicted it based on some other parameters than what we normally measure. That may be what's happening. Whatever the case is, we are at risk. We're going to go into the sun thing. So in fact, now we'll let's see. Let's do a rain accumulation before we do that. Rain accumulation. Got some rain here today. Georgia's getting rain. Yeah, I wasn't needing rain here. I'm needing some dry weather. I need to go out and get a skid steer and tear up some ground, but it's hard to do it when everything's wet. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I need a full weekend available to me. And by the way, I can get a skid steer for a 1-day price and run it all day, 2 days. And it takes about 2 days of running just to clock up 8 hours of operating time on one of those pieces of equipment. You feel like you're running it full time, and it's hard to get that 8 hours logged out. And I could run one for 2 days to get that and still struggle to get the 8 hours operating time on it. So guys, that's what I need. I need to run a skid steer. I got some work to do to put in another garden area or greenhouse area. I got one more spot on my land I need to prepare. Yikes. I love running a skid steer. I love that. Wow, I enjoy watching this thing. So let's do some more accumulation. Let's go a few more days. That's the next 3 days, 5 days. Unless you're gonna rain out and we go off. I don't think I'm gonna get anything much coming more through here. 10 days we are getting more. So that's 5 days, and the next 10 days or so, we'll probably have another storm system come through to bring us all that much rain in 10 days. Look up here in Illinois, south of East Missouri, Arkansas, up into Michigan, even out in the peninsula up there. Boston area, Connecticut, getting a lot of rain. You're not getting a whole lot of rain there, Katie. Panhandle's going to get a lot. Montgomery is going to get quite a bit. South Georgia, according to this. Next 10 days, lots of rain. Let me back off and see how that looks everywhere else on this record. I want to go down to Australia and so things are well up here, of course, in the Pacific Northwest. British Columbia and the Panhandle of Alaska are going to be getting a lot of rain over here in the tropics. Rainforest, it is. Call it tropics. The outlook for tomorrow. I think this storm system will move offshore, the ones we've been seeing. I mean, it may still be in this area. This channel is not really a good 1-day indicator, is it? Maybe we can get that next 24 hours. So next 24 hours. Well, if I'm judging by that, this storm you think would be stuck right here. They must be figuring it's going to pan out, peter out. That's within the next day. If that's the case, I don't, because this storm system's right here now. I don't think it's going to just travel this far. I think it's going to be offshore by tomorrow. If that's true, and if there's no more rain in that, they're figuring on it to peter out. Is it really going to peter out? I don't know, guys. It's pretty intense. What do y'all think? You think that storm's going to peter out? Claudette says, "Hi, Greg. I need to get out and get my yard prepared. It's been really cold, starting spring in Ontario." All right, where at in Ontario are you? So this is Ontario right here. Ontario is huge. Ontario is way bigger than Texas. So this guy's, these provinces in Canada are huge. Look at Quebec. I mean, it's larger than France probably. And they do speak French in Quebec, by the way. I believe it's larger than France. It's huge. Ontario it's got a little leg of it going down here, and it comes way back up here, up on James Bay, the Hudson Bay, and back over here, just all the way back to Minnesota. So, you know, you look at the states that it interfaces with the United States, there, New York to Minnesota. Ontario is huge, guys. Of course, the Ottawa, the capital of Canada, is on Ontario, and so is the largest city in Canada, which is Toronto, which is the there's the capital city, Ottawa. Toronto is like the it's the New York of Canada, except it's pretty and ain't dirty like New York. It's the biggest city in Canada, but it is whistle clean. I hadn't been up there in a few years. It's been several years since I've been to Toronto. I used to go up there several times a year, and I'd stay 2 weeks at a time. So I was quite familiar with Toronto. You know, I was working with those robotic systems up there built by what back in the day was Spar. And it came MD Robotics, and I think they got another name now. But a great company, a lot of good people. I enjoyed going up there in the time. I enjoyed Toronto. A lot of good Indian restaurants up in there. I love the Indian food. Mississauga, I had an area called Mississauga, had some good Indian restaurants. So there are a lot of Indian people up in Toronto, by the way. Anyway, that's the storm when you back off at this level. Let's go down and look in. Let's see what it looks like over here in England. Let's see. We had somebody from New Zealand. We'll go to New Zealand and Australia in a minute. Check that. Whoa, what happened? Stop sharing. The window closed. I didn't mean to close that. Uh-oh. I did not mean to close that. She crashed on me. Let's see if it'll reopen. Oh no, it's not letting me pull all those windows back. Yikes. I had a lot of windows for the solar stuff opened up specifically. I just want to share with y'all. What happened? This computer's getting a mind of its own. I don't believe I hit the X at all. I was trying to move the screen. All right, we won't do windy now. We're just going to go to space weather. How about that? I was wanting to look at Australia. We still might do that. Hang on, I go windy again. Hang on. In a second, I got to re-enter my all these websites I had open. And I had several open that I'm just not going to be getting to right now. Let's see, what was I was looking at geomagnetic storm, GEO. I had several good websites open I was going to show y'all today, and I just crashed the whole thing. It's funny, when my computer rebooted, it went back to it automatically. Wikipedia is not the best place to go for geomagnetic storm charts. Just storm chart. Yeah, there's a chart showing the relative strength of those. I'm going to pull up. Noah space weather skills. That might be it. Let's see. There we go. That's what I was on. Very good. All right. Do that. Do this. Space weather. We got windy back up, and we will look at what else? Oh well. That'll get us started. Come back here. I lost my chat room in my main computer, unfortunately. I closed everything. Blew the whole world up. All right, let's come back in here and do another share. Ding, 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 ding. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. I've left the world. Here we are again, and looking at the winds and temperatures. I was just trying to hit this button. I wasn't anywhere near the big X at the top. I don't believe. All right, down here. New Zealand. Nice temperatures in New Zealand. Look at that, guys. 71, 66, 62. 52 way down here on the southern end. Now that's way down south, getting close to Antarctica. Well, still a lot of ocean there. But there we go, guys. New Zealand, fairly decent temperatures. It's like a strong storm system going up here off the eastern coast of Australia. Tasmania down here, the coast in Tasmania is 57. Well, they're in their autumn in this area of the world now, heading toward winter. They've had a hot summer while we were shivering in our winter. Didn't really get that cold up here. Let's see, 84, 91, Rockhampton, go down here, Canberra International Airport, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see, you get up here in the north. See, this is near the equator. It's funny. Australia goes out from, Antarctica to the equator. 82, 93, 100 degrees over here, guys. Yeah, you get some hot spots in Australia. So it was in here that was from New Zealand. Let's see, it was something Kiwi somebody. Remember that. You still with us, New Zealand? You are, say hi. Indian food, yum, says VidCom. Yeah, I love Indian food. I was in Toronto in 2000. Last time I was there was in 94. But from 90 to 94, I used to go up there all the time. I'd stay, like I said, for 2 weeks at a time. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Hey, Greg, we are streaming you again. Would you please talk about the X class? Yeah, we're going to go in there and what to do with the grid. Yep, we're going to go there. I just had to reboot some stuff. We will go there. Hey, everybody, we got Lee Wilbarger in the room, and they're streaming us on this channel. I actually had this channel open on my previous screen, but my everything crashed here a little bit ago. So yeah, I was in his room earlier. Like I said, my computer crashed on me. All right, guys, we are going to be looking around here, and we're going to end this one, Wendy, and we're going to space weather right now, because we are having stormy days, not on Earth but in space. Huge storms today, guys. We had an X-class solar flare aimed at us, but before that, this sunspots here shot out about 17 solar flares in a row. Bang, 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 17 times, and 2 of them ran into each other, and we're getting a G3 storm out of the 2 that's running into each other. I have yet to hear what this X flare is going to do to us. So let's see, they're not really saying a lot. This is the source of the solar storms, guys, right here. You see, that is almost aimed directly at us. And that's where we get, as we get later and later in the solar season, these sunspots migrate closer and closer to the equator as we get closer to solar max, which means we get more and more direct blows from these sunspots than we did like earlier when they were up here. So they start up here during the season and they move down the whole time. I hope my computer don't freeze up on me again. But this is a ginormous system here. These are the kind of systems that gives you the worst flares. That is huge, huge. I mean, Earth would just be a speck on this map. By comparison, these things are enormous, and they put off huge storms. This is definitely you put out a lot of class M's, and a lot of them, and it gave us a class X storm. Now, what's good, maybe it could be that by firing such a large number of M-class storms, we might have averted having a much larger X-class storm. So the X-class is where you get into real danger, but there's a lot of latitude in the X-class. Hey, Arnold, there you are. I was looking for you earlier. Hey, Arnold, it's 19 degrees in northern Colorado. That's colder than any place I can see on the map in Alberta. What do you think about that, Arnold? Yeah, the colder temperatures in Colorado, but it's at elevation, I'm sure. All right, so new days of sharing KLW World News. Very good. All right, Arnold, you're up late. Well, hey, we're a little bit later than him as we're further to the east. All right, I'm gonna get out of this screen here, I think. Go back. So look at the Aurora right now. Right now, the Aurora is shown as being very active up in Canada, Alaska, and you should be able to see it from the northern states. We can't, you know, sometimes you can see the Aurora down here. Every once in a blue moon when you get a really strong storm. All right, here we are. This is a CME from the 30th, which was just yesterday. And let's see what this tells us about the CME here. New images of the Solar and Heliophilic Observatory, SOHO, confirm a CME emerged from the blast site. Now, is this CME the ones from the M classes, or is this our X class flare? That's what I want to know here. Hang on, guys. The CME is right now. This CME is from the Cannibal CME, where two M class storms ran into each other. That's what's hitting us right now, and it's causing a strong G3 class storm. We're going to go all into that, guys. In fact, I'll click there. It'll show us some of that, and I just opened a couple other screens that will go into more detail. You could get that or stronger from an X class. How well it couples to us depends on the polarity of the storm when it hits us, as compared to, hey Doug, how you doing? Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. Yay! Super chat from Doug. Thank you, Doug. Let's see, M-Dog, welcome friend. Okay, Doug, I really appreciate that. So look here, guys. We're going to look here. Let's see the active sunspot AR 2975. See, that's right here. That's this one right here, guys. Fired that X class. So it wasn't this guy over here, 78. It was 75 that fired it, but they're coupled to each other. They get a huge plasma stream between them that builds up and decouples. It's a huge magnetic loop. So it says that erupted again. And now this was just a few hours ago, like 3 or 4 hours ago. This X class was launched. Let's see. Blackout map. We may have to check that out a little bit. So let's see. The CME probably will reach Earth during the early hours of April the 2nd. Okay, we do have a CME coming out of the X-class flare. They think it would be a G1. The two M-class flares arriving at us right now are causing a G3. Well, that's interesting because an X-class can do a lot more. So we're going to talk about these. Hang on. Let's look at this video. Yeah, that's not a ginormous CME. I see why they're talking to G1. I'm seeing a lot bigger CMEs flare out than that. Hey, it's not done. Oh, it's not over. We may get another one, guys. The diameter of the sun is this little bitty circle right here. They're blocking out a lot of the photosphere of the sun, the chromosphere, which is hotter than the surface of the sun, which is really strange. It's up to 2 million degrees F in this region here. So they're blocking that out just so you can see the gas and the stuff coming from the sun. Because they got to block out that light to see what else is happening right now. You'll see, this is actually mostly right here. There's some of it down here. Looks like I can see some effects from it. It's directed straight at us, so you can see it all around. But it's mostly showing on this side. But remember, this is coming at us. It's not coming up on the back side. We've had much bigger solar storms coming out of the back side of the sun within the last several months. So we may be lucky. Let's cross our fingers and hope that a G1 is all we get. So we're going to look here at this geomagnetic storms from this Noaa chart. This is the best place, I think, to kind of go over that. Because, oh, this isn't the G ratings. Oh, shoot. I was hoping it would be. Oh, that's the radio blackouts. Okay. I think the chart I thought was pulling up. Oh, well, look at here, Wikipedia. Wikipedia don't have the chart I like on this either. You get strips of it when you go into space weather. They don't like to show the whole chart at once. But see, guys, what happens here? It looks like this. When there's a solar storm or a solar wind, it couples with the entire Earth's magnetosphere, and it makes it ring like a bell. And you can have effects on both sides of the Earth. The storm that hit in 1989 in Quebec and took out the power grid happened at night. And it happened through the ground current. The current will go into the ground with a lot of people don't realize this. The ground will conduct a sheet of electricity called terrestrial electricity. And what happened as it come up through the ground legs of the transformers. So all you guys buying these ground shunts from the stupid company that sells them, telling you they're going to protect you from 42 hits of EMP is nuts, because shunting to the ground ain't going to do any good when it comes up from the ground. So forget that guy. Forget that stupid little device that so many people are out there selling and promoting. That's why you don't see me selling, promoting that garbage. I can make a lot of money doing it. I get criticized from some people for promoting products, and they go, "Oh, Greg, all you do is you promote these products." Well, I try to promote stuff that will actually help you. Junk like that, you do not see me promoting it. That company has sued one of my good friends, by the way, and I helped them fight it back, because they were actually mad at me and didn't know it. So that's another story. But you know what? I got no use for companies making those kind of claims. So let's see. This ain't the charts I want to show you guys. What? MAINS, electrical grid. What? MAIN. I think they mean Maine, maybe. What? Oh yeah, here we are. Geomagnetically induced current. There we go. That's what we can go to. Affecting the normal operation of long electrical conductor systems, a manifestation of ground are manifest at ground level by space weather. There you go. So this can affect our electric grids at ground level. So it's showing that you get an induction of current in the ground. What's going on in space? Because rock is conductive at certain levels, and certain areas are worse than others. Yeah, Maine actually is the Northeast is very susceptible to these kind of currents. And here is the Quebec hydropower grid. This is the one that went down in 1989. So open this up. Here are separate power grids. We often talk about it just as a standpoint of the United States, but you can see Canada is very much integrated into our system of power. You know, the Northeast, the Midwest, and the western part of the country share power grids here. Now look, Fairbanks to Anchorage is on one power grid. Okay. CERC. Well, CERC has got a lot of power from TVA. All right, there's the Texas grid that's had so many problems lately. So there we go. Close this out. I'm having issues with my cursor tonight. So we're going to go into more into what Lee was asking us for here in a minute. Oh yeah, what is this? Russia Dam, Montreal. It's a whole lot like it looked in Alaska. James Bay. So they're going into this here, guys. Wow, that's quite a substation. This terrestrial electro, oh no, what I mean, Hydro-Quebec's system. God, I went down a level here. Your pipelines underground, your wires underground, your cables underground will pick up this terrestrial electricity and carry it. Your ground legs on your transformers can pick it up from the ground, and it can burn out your transformer. That's why they put the blockers on the ground leg of the transformer, is to keep the terrestrial electricity from frying the transformer. That is what you're actually doing to safeguard those transformers from EMPs, from the E3 part of it, that is. So a lot of people don't realize that. That's what you're doing. And by the way, that other little device I talk about is an E1 device. It's not an E3 device. They don't know that, though, probably. They only tested a portion of what a device like that should have to cover. and probably not at the appropriate fill strengths. You know, they're not accounting for the Soviet, Russian EMP super weapons, I don't think, but that's another story. So let's see here. Let's go back. Yeah, so this is what's happening is the sun couples with the Earth's field. And look, it couples all the way around the magnetosphere of the Earth. Again, that's why the Quebec hydro event occurred at like 2 o'clock in the morning on the dark side of the Earth. There's a guy did a video, another prepper, who told us that if you were on the dark side of the Earth, you didn't have to worry about it. That video got 10 times more views than any of my videos on the power grid ever. It's like, really? He's putting up bad information. He didn't know it. He was just, shooting from his hip what he thought. And he's generally a good guy. I'm not going to call him out by name. He's generally a good guy, so I don't want to really diss him. But it just blows my mind that videos like that get 10 times more views than anything I put out. People sitting on their front porch talking about just anything off their hip without any background in the subject matter area will get way more views than I get all the time. So that's kind of weird to me. Smaller channels than mine are getting more views than me. Some of them are good channels. They got good content, but they will get some of them 10 times more views than I get on a regular basis. Of course, I used to get more views, so that's kind of weird. I think I'm being shadow banned. I don't know what or why, but why aren't other prepping channels getting shadow banned? Or am I doing something wrong? I've been asking you guys that several times. I'm not getting a lot of feedback on that. Yeah, we need to pray for Kaylee, guys. We'll do that tonight. So we're going to look at the scales on these solar events. I didn't bring up the chart I wanted to. I can get part of it right out of the space growth. I had it pulled up early before my computer crashed on me. So that is not the chart I wanted to look at. I thought I was, when I first saw that and glanced at it, I thought it was wait a minute, it may be right here. I bet it is. Yeah, here we are. Good. That is the chart I was looking for. It is here. All right, this chart tells you what to expect on your power grid at the different G levels of your solar storm. A real high-end X-class solar flare could put you into G5 and above. Absolutely. So a G1, this is what they're claiming that X flare is going to do to us, just a G1. So that having a solar flare and having a CME are not always one-to-one. And the more powerful the solar flare, the more powerful the CME is that it could launch. It doesn't mean that it absolutely launches the most powerful CME that it could launch. In this case, we may be lucky. Now, that wasn't the largest X-class flare either. I got to see if I can get a scale of that to show you guys. So a G1 power systems, weak power grid fluctuations can occur. Spacecraft minor impact on satellite operations possible. These are very minor effects. Aurora is commonly visible at high latitudes like northern Michigan and Maine. All right, you days, if you're not covered with clouds, you might get a good show outside tonight. Have you been outside tonight? Have you seen and looked for the solar flare? Are you covered? Eventually, what you tell the truth, Greg, that's when your show is shadow banned. Yeah, I believe it. That's the problem. But I put out expert advice. I'm not just going, hey, I think that something could happen and you better watch out. But you're okay if you're not on the night side of the sun. If you're on the night side, it ain't going to affect you. I don't put out junk like that. I'm an engineer. I'm a scientist. I put out stuff that I've got the backing for, guys. G3. This is what's going on right now. Power systems voltage correction may be required. So they got to monitor false alarms triggered in some of the power protection devices. You may have some of them tripping. Some of your fault detectors, some of your fault systems may be tripping in your current protective systems. Spacecraft operations, surface charging may occur on satellite components. So your satellite has a skin on the outside, metallic skin. It may charge up because of this. And when you get one surface charging, it may discharge to other surfaces. You can get arcs and sparks. So whenever you get surface charging, you've got some issues. Drag may increase on low Earth orbit satellites. You know, Elon lost a bunch of satellites. It wasn't even the G3 storm, but his satellites are very low in altitude. That's why it got him. It was like a G1 pulled down some of Elon's satellites recently. They'd just been launched too. He lost about 40 satellites in one solar storm. Corrections may be needed for orientation problems. Other systems, intermittent satellite navigation and low frequency radio navigation. All right, so you have these issues. G4, severe. We could have had a severe out of this X flare. This X flare could have easily put us, even an X1, it's an X1. And an X1 could easily put us here in the G4. Power systems provide a widespread voltage control problems. You're having a lot of problems. Protective systems will mistakenly trip out key elements of the grid. These are blackouts, guys, maybe small, recoverable without permanent system damage, I would suppose, but you could have blackouts. You could have issues here. Spacecraft operations may experience surface charging and tracking problems. Correction may be needed for orientation problems. I mean, it loses its attitude. It's got to be readjusted. Other systems include pipeline currents. Currents in your pipeline affect preventative measures, high frequency radio propagation, sporadic satellite navigation graded for hours. Low frequency radio navigation disturbed. The Aurora has been seen as low as Alabama. Bum, 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 bum. Yes, sir. And Northern California. I have seen solar storms. I'm in Northern Alabama. I have seen G4 solar storm activity right here. I've looked up and I have seen it. And they'll be red. When you see them this far south, they're down in, I guess it's the oxygen or something. They're actually red. Let's see what Arnold says. You got to get scuba gear. Okay. This is what you worry about, this G5. Power systems, widespread voltage control systems and protective systems problems can occur. Some grid systems may experience complete collapse or blackout. Transformers may experience damage. This is the thing that scares us the most. If you have a big enough G5, see, G5s could have various levels too. Spacecraft operations may experience extensive surface charging, not minor, but extensive. Problems with orientation, uplink, downlink. You may fry these satellites, guys. Pipeline currents can reach hundreds of amps. Okay, guys, read this. Hundreds of amps. You got to realize that some of these devices that are supposedly protecting you, like the devices that are being sold, that I've been talking about, have wires on them no bigger than this. You're not carrying hundreds of amps in a system like that. I used to design equipment that carried hundreds of amps. The wires were this big around, like hose pipes going into those systems. Amperage requires larger wires. Higher the amps, the larger the wires. Now, indeed, if it's very, very, very short, you might get away with it, maybe, if it's not too big. But that size wire, no, it is not going to survive. And there's another thing. Yeah, I have burnt wires instantly. I have had wires that I was cutting foam with, little neochromium wires I was cutting foam with to make my launchers and my balloons back in the 90s. And accidentally hit the rheostat that controlled the voltage to it. And that wire went from being a solid piece of material to light and vapor. It went poof, just like a photo tube wire. There was no wire. It made a phase change, not to liquid, to gas. From solid to gas, straight, poof, and light. And it was a bright flash too. So you might see stuff like that. When you get too much amps in a small wire, that's what you see. You might get fires in your house. So, you got to be careful what you're counting on to protect you. Pipeline currents, hundreds of amps. High frequency radio propagation may be impossible in many areas for 1 or 2 days. So you're getting, I'm talking about high frequency. Guys, this is your cell phones. This is FM, UAH, not UAH, UHL. UH is my university, my alma mater. That's where Roy Spencer works, by the way. Low frequency radio navigation may be out for hours. Aurora has been seen as far south as Florida and Texas. Okay, guys, Florida and Texas. Actually, like Carrington event, you'll be looking at it in Cuba. If you get this, so this ain't even talking Carrington event. You can get a G5 and it not be a Carrington event. You got to understand this. This is the effects you get on the lower end G5. A Carrington event gives you bigger effects. And there have been, we now know that the Carrington event is not the strongest solar storms we can expect from our sun. The Charlemagne event in 710 was much stronger. And we're finding evidence of even stronger storms. Where did that come from? What happened? Oh, I'm going to scroll down too far. Solar radiation storms. All right, so I guess on the sun side of biological events, unavoidable high altitude hazards to astronauts. Yeah, you get radiation, severe radiation. This can kill astronauts, guys. You know, if astronauts had been, there was a solar storm in 72, if we had been on the moon, it would have killed the astronauts. No doubt about it. We were lucky. And that's where we really started discovering this stuff. And knowing from the space side, we had to protect from certain things. All right, so let's go back here to space weather. We're going to click on some of their charts. So what I don't like about this is they don't put out that whole chart anymore. You get strips. So here's the G1 class. See that? They just show you a strip. Oh, said G1, but it took us to G2. That's interesting. They don't even have their links set right. Space weather is a good channel, but it's got limitations here. Here's our sunspot that shot out the solar flare. There's a nice close-up of it. AR 2975. This is the one that's this is the solar flare that's hitting us now. It's also the source of the X class. You can see over here. So this come out of this region somewhere my cursor's at, but over here, this bigger spot has not sent us a storm yet. We may get one as yet. It's still possible we might get something bigger than what we got. So let's look at the storm that hit us more explicitly, the one that's coming at us. It's an X13. That's not even solar explosion. Okay, I know in here they got something that shows us a chart with some X class, and their charts aren't always the best here in space. Well, they got some good charts, but they're not always the best ones. No, I don't see a chart for that here. I've got to look that up. But there are some good charts on X class flares. Maybe that's close. All right, that's getting close to it. The classification of X-ray solar flares. See, it's producing X-rays, guys, X-ray flux. So they've got the classes here from B to X. M is what we just had, a couple of M classes run into each other. This is the watts per meter between 1 and 8 angstroms. So this is what we're seeing out of the storm, greater than 10 to the -4. So these are actually pretty weak. Well, I can get a lot higher than that. So that's your X class in that regard. Well, there's several gradations of X class. I hope that this is going to show us here. S class has got several numbers that it goes through. So we're, let's see, is this good? There's X6 here. There's X2. So we're over here in this area, X1. This is the specific event because this has got days on it. There's one year in July the 12th in 2000, we had a large solar storm. I think that's what this is. This is not the kind of chart they should be showing us here. It shows us the watts per meter over several days from this solar storm. 5-minute data. I mean, 5-minute data over 5 days, 3 days. Excuse me. That's kind of this is not the chart I would like to show you guys. I've seen it. More information. Maybe it's here. All right, it's going to take me a while to find the chart that I really want to show you. Oh, that's lovely. Powers of 10 explained. Yeah, that's important to know, but yeah, this should show that graphically. How's the corona heater? We're just now figuring that out. We don't really fully know that one yet. Corona is hotter than the surface of the sun. That's kind of strange too. That's an enigma. Yeah, this is not got the chart I'm looking for. And that's why spaceweather.com's got some limitations, guys. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. More data. What's that show us? Dynamic plot. Yeah, these are specific events. Still not what I'm looking for. Oh, well, probably Noah's got the chart I really would like to find. I'll have to hunt it over here. Noah's got better charts than space weather. Okay, so much for, just know this. There's X flares occur with quite a wide spectrum of charge in terms of watts per meter. They can get very, very, very intense. So we got this X1.3, X1.3. So this is on the lower end of the X scale, but it's still a very powerful storm. This is what the blackout map shows. Wow, this is, looks like it's affecting us more in the Americas. Can be global. It can be global, guys. These storms can affect the entire globe. So what's interesting over here is the forecast part, the Noaa forecast. You can see M-class fares were 50%. X-class, they were only forecasted at 10%. And then that's odd that there were, you know, that's the ones that hadn't come. Well, we just had 17 M-class flares shot out within like maybe 24 hours. So that's a low forecast. They tend to be conservative over there on those charts from NOAA. But just talking about what they expected at mid and high latitudes. And high latitudes, they were expecting a severity of 80% within 24 hours, 70% within 48 hours. This is real high. You seldom see them put numbers on here like this. And this is the numbers, the data was on here before the X-class flare fired off, my friends. I saw this a few hours earlier. And let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find some better charts to show you guys on these. I've had them. I think I've printed them out in some presentations I've gave in the past. So we'll go into that. I just got to find them. Asteroids. Let's change topics here for a little bit. We'll talk about asteroids. This guy was actually discovered before it passed near us. Now this is 2 days ago. This came in pretty close, within 4/10 of the distance between Earth and the Moon, which is still twice as far out almost as our geosynchronous satellites. But you know, this is actually, it's more than twice as far out, because geosynchronous satellites are 23,000 miles, which is really 1/10 of the distance to the Moon. This is 4/10. Geosynchronous satellites orbit where the one orbit is 24 hours. The further you get out in space, the longer it takes to get around the Earth. At the Moon, the orbit is 28 days. Geosynchronous satellites, 24 hours. If you're in low Earth orbit, you go around in 90 minutes. Like where if you're on the space station, it takes you 90 minutes to get around Earth. So we don't have anything too worrisome coming at us here on the charts looking ahead in terms of asteroids. Luckily, this one did miss us. It was a 16-meter asteroid traveling very fast. That could have created quite a wallop. It was traveling at 13.7 kilometers per second. Now this one up here was going 18.5 kilometers per second, going 2 meters, but that velocity, energy is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. This one might have hit us harder than this one. That's a huge velocity on this guy. You can do the math. Fortunately, this guy missed us. We can look at it in orbit. Here's the near collision that we almost had with it. Crosses Earth's orbit again. Yeah, this one's got to orbit very close to us. It may hit us eventually. This one probably overlaps us a lot. Eventually, it'll hit Earth, most likely. It may be a long time out. Let's hope. That was a very close pass. This was a close pass. This one hit us. What's the miss distance? 0. Fortunately, this one was 2 meters in size, about the size of a refrigerator. This guy's about the size of my bus, 16 meters. That's about the size of my bus outside my driveway. Y'all have seen that in some of my videos. That one would make quite an explosion. It's not as big as the Tunguska vent generator, by a long shot, but it's pretty big. So fortunately, it would not have been a doomsday event. You know, you see a lot of newspapers really hype all these approaching asteroids like, oh my God, we're on the verge of doom. I really hate that. They overhype it. A lot of newspapers do, a lot of magazines, and you see this on the internet all the time. Oh, an asteroid as big as Hydropower is traveling toward Earth. Yeah, but it's going to miss us by a large margin. They don't tell you that usually. That's the fear porn. So you don't see me jumping on here and making those kind of claims. You will see Ben Benoon from Israeli News Live making all kind of claims about stuff is going to hit us. Oh yeah, we're going to get hit by all kind of asteroids. You know, he makes those kind of claims a lot. And those dates that he gives us and says they're going to hit us by, they always pass with no impacts. So that guy is full of it. But he gets all of his information from high-level sources in the Pentagon and the Intelligence Committee. Well, his high-level sources aren't nothing. They're nobody's, guys, because his predictions have always come false. Every single time, false. And we're lucky for that, because he's predicted some gloom and doom upon us many times. Well, why does he get away with that and keep a large channel and people keep going back to him? I'd like to know. I'd like to understand that. Why is Israeli News Live like 10 times bigger channel than mine? Got so many people go to him, and they'll swear by him. They'll get mad at me for saying his prediction's not going to come true. I did a video 2 years ago, because he had said, oh, by October, no one will be able to deny, no one on Earth will be able to deny that we're going to get pummeled by asteroids because Nibiru is coming around. Well, I'll see it. No one will be able to deny it. And I came out in August and says, oh, I will deny it right now. It's not going to happen. And here's why. And I went into all the details for why we don't expect that to happen. Let me stop the share. Ding, ding, ding. I went in and said, it's not going to happen. And here is why. How come this thing ain't opening up right? Front row. I guess I'm gonna have to kill my website here to get it to do what I want. There we go. It wouldn't go into the stop share like I wanted it to, the way I wanted it to. Just had to kill my browser completely. So Ben, my name was coming on constantly and talking this stuff, talking this smack. Oh, I got secret sources from the NSA, and they have made these findings. And here's what's coming. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. You know, was he really talking to somebody? Were they feeding him smoke? Or was, I don't know, guys, it didn't make walking around sense. And I explained it in great detail and explained, oh, this was not going to happen. We can go into that now if you really want to. It takes a little explanation. But yeah, people accuse me of being a fear monger. You know, I don't promote junk like some of these devices that's supposed to save your home from 42. How do they pick 42? Because it's answered all things. 42 EMPs. It's a perfect scam because if you get one EMP, the whole grid's crashed and you're not going to be able to sue them no way. Wow. Imagine selling devices. This, I could sell you a bottle of something, say, this will protect you in the event of a nuclear war. In fact, this will protect you from 42 nuclear wars. Buy this and you will be safe. And of course, there ain't gonna be in a world left enough on the other side for a legal system where you come back and sue me. I could charge you $400 and I could give YouTube channels that promote it half the money. Some of these other YouTube channels are getting a lot of money promoting this stuff. I could sell that stuff easy. I talk about the grid all the time. I would have made a fortune by now. It would have been the most lucrative product I could have possibly sold. The markup was far better than anything else out there that I promote. I get, hey, gold backs, when I do the gold backs, I'm going to get 1%. Usually the standard for commission for affiliate marketing is 10 to 15%. I get 15% now. I didn't originally for promoting the long-term food storage with, if you go to prepwithgreg.com. I used to get 10. I get 10% on everything else, pretty much. Well, some things is flat fees, but 10% is the standard, and 15 is pretty normal too. But I could have made a lot more, like 25 to 50% of the sale of those EMP devices, and they sell for $400 a piece. So, and I could have sold those like hotcakes, but I don't believe in it. I don't sell you something. I don't promote something that I don't believe in. There's other big channels out there that promote this stuff, huge channels. It just, wow, they're pumping that stuff all the time. Get this, it's going to save you. Now, they've had certain test reports. That lab is not really a normal lab you go to for EMPs. I got the test data myself. I've seen it. And they didn't test the full spectrum of everything that needed to be tested in order to the levels it should have been tested at to be commensurate with what you might see. Well, I've seen reports from Soviet weapon systems being tested where they had like 1,800 ounce to 3,600 ounce, 1,800 to 3,600 ounce from a Russian. Yeah, I got to look that up again. I had that website up not long ago. Yeah, Stephen Ben Noon. He talks to asteroids. He's not. He might be selling that EMP device. There's another channel that's really popular with a lot of you guys that sells. I'm not one of this. The guy actually thinks they're right. This other guy, but he just don't know. Bless his heart. I happen to work this stuff. I understand. I'm gonna tell you something. Nobody in the EMP community is using that junk. Has preparedness says, hello from the Gulf Coast of Alabama. Well, we dodged tornadoes again this evening. Well, good for you. Good for you. That's good to know. All right, you give me a like 101. Okay, I have 101 likes. Let me hit the refresh on there. Showing 85. We got 105 people in the room. I appreciate that. Rogue, who is a fearmonger? I'm trying not to name names, guys. I mean, some of the guys on these channels are good guys. They're just, they don't know. Stephen Benin ought to know better, though, really and truly. Maybe he believes that stuff. Maybe, possibly. Oh, where did my chat go? I'm just refreshed this page. Oh, we do have 102 likes. Very good. Very good. Glad to see that. I'm going to go back to the chat here in a minute. I'm going to scroll through it. The chat, I've totally killed the browser on this page. Let me bring it back up in a little bit. Greg, you should promote the Siemens FS140 whole house surge protection device. Supposed to be good. Probably won't hold up against an EMP. There you go, Carl. Put it out there. That device has better quality components in it and is cheaper than the one that certain channels promote. Again, it's the same kind of device. Same kind of device. It has better quality components. No claims, no outlandish claims that it will do those crazy things that these other guys say. It could help you. It beats getting a poke in the eye. So, maybe I could do that. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Snake oil. Yeah, Antonio, that's how I refer to it, snake oil. Elon's AI has evaded confinement and inserted itself into the net. Uh-oh. Yeah. Well, we have AI on the net already. Like, you got AI in Siri, you got AI in Bixby, you got AI in tons of stuff we do. Even those You know, when you're typing in your cell phone, it's predicting what word you'll say next. That's AI. It's a low level AI. But AI is already out here, guys. AI is getting more pervasive. There's getting to be more of it. And they're getting a lot of your speech. Well, now they got speech software that really sounds like a human. More so. That is AI. Is it? But it's really still artificial stupidity to me. It's not sentient. It's not conscious, guys. It's a computer program. It's a program. It don't know you. It don't know squat. It knows nothing. It acts like it. It can collect data, but it has no consciousness. It's not sentient. It may look like it to us because it's processing stuff so fast, but it is not sentient. Some people go, well, maybe some of the AI on the internet is sentient now. Oh, horse rubbish. No way. You're right, Lee. It's everywhere. The heart of a computer system, except for, this is not true for neural nets, but neural nets are still not the heart of our computer system yet. And most neural nets are primitive. They're small. Neural nets may change this dynamic one day. The heart of the computer is what's called an arithmetic logic unit. Arithmetic logic unit mathematically can only accomplish one thing. It adds ones and zeros. It's really not even doing that. What it's doing, it's correlating high and low voltages with the Boolean logic structure that makes it look like addition. So it's real roughly, it's literally like a correlator of high and low voltages. And it looks like addition. When we use those high and low voltages to represent ones and zeros. A low voltage is a zero, a high voltage is a one. And you create the algorithmic rules for this and use Boolean logic, which is a logic based on binary systems of 1 and 0, and counting 1 to 0. So it's it's a interesting mathematical system. I've done a lot of Boolean logic. It's pretty sharp, but that is at the heart of your computers. They don't even multiply, really. They don't even subtract or divide. Subtraction is adding a negative number. Multiplication is successive additions, enough additions. This division is enough successive subtractions. It's just a computer can do these things so fast. But all it is doing, fundamentally, is correlating high and low voltages. There's one little register in the system that's called an arithmetic logic unit. How do you get sentience out of that? You don't. But see, we write complex software and we got algorithms that are really large that use this as a basis to operate on. But down in the core, that's all it is. How do you get sentience out of that? How do you get consciousness out of it? And there's no soul in the machine. Now, maybe one day they'll make a machine complex enough a demon might possess it. But that soul will not be originating from the machine. I don't know why a demon would possess something that's not alive. It happens too fast for a switch. Oh yeah, now he's talking about the EMPs. Yeah, you can't switch them off. They are fast, very fast. Hey, Carl, thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now at a KP5, so that's the solar storm, KP5. Not your biscuit, Greg. How difficult is it to raise worms for castings? And large enough for an operation that needs to be profitable. Hey, all the sun is showing us digital. There you go. There you go. So look, 1000 would be 8. Now in a digital world, if this is a 0 and that's a 1, then you got 2. 0 and 1, 2. There's your 4 position. There's your 8 position. Okay. 0001 would be 8. 0101, would be 10. Okay. 0110, so that's the 4s and 2s. That would be 6. It works kind of like that, guys. So KP5. Okay. That's what we're getting coming out of the sun, guys. Picosecond is a claim. Your G1, okay, out of a EMP, you get 3 waveform types: E1, E2, and E3. E1 is a high frequency. It's what fries your small electronics because it's got high frequencies. A circuit is resonant with a certain frequency, and that frequency it's resonant to depends on the capacitance and resistance in the circuit and the size of the circuit itself. An antenna, just by its dimensions, is automatically resonant with particular with waveforms that match the size of the antenna, basically, or harmonics thereof. Smaller circuits are resonant with higher and higher frequencies. Okay, your circuits, your old electrical systems, though, you know, with the big circuits, they weren't resonant with most of your frequencies at that level, and they were, you know, bigger wires, tougher systems. But in your electronics, you get small little conductors that doesn't take a lot to fry what's in your cell phone, for example. E1 will fry small electronic components. It's high frequency. It's the E1 that's fast. It's the one that lasts, you know, on the order of nanoseconds. Maybe they're saying picoseconds. I don't know, I think it's on the order of nanoseconds. I have to go back and look it up. I've got a chart on that. But E3, on the other hand, can last a lot longer. E3 can last for minutes sometimes. It's long enough to cause fires. It's the E3 that you get from the solar coronal mass ejection, not E1. E3 is what induces terrestrial electricity, probably not E1. So having a ground shunt may protect you from E1. It's not going to save you from E3, though. You got to bear it in mind. E2 is like lightning, like immense lightning charge coming out from the nuclear device. So that's what you got to bear in mind. You get E1, E2, and E3. So, and there are different waveforms, different characteristics to each one of them. And I'm not sure that what I'm saying that E1 is accurate, given what we've seen from some of the Soviet weapons tests. I might have to pull that up one day. I had that pulled up not long ago. Skynet. Yeah, we got now with the Elon system, right? So everything metal is resonant at some frequency. Exactly. So E1, E3 picks up on long conductors, pipelines, rail lines, and power lines. That's what E3 is low frequency. It lasts a lot longer. But this is where you come up with voltages that may be on the order of, you know, a couple 100,000 volts per meter. That can induce a heck of a current, guys. E3 is like a CME. Lee is exactly right. A CME essentially is an E3 waveform. The sun doesn't put out E1 or E2. Thank God. Thank God we're not getting E1 or E2 out of the sun. But as far as we don't have any experience with the E2 out of the sun. Some people think lightning does jump from planet to planet. That would be an E2 if it should occur. We've never seen any real evidence that. GG and I spoke about it. John Wells had a lady on tonight about the G5, how the G5 will affect people who got them. I call poppycock on that. Okay. All right, so let's go in here. Casual Prince, we had tons of lightning this evening. I bet you did. There's 10,000 people out of power in Mobile County. Oh, you know, I could have pulled that up. There's a chart showing power outages in the states. That's pretty current. I could have pulled that up. I mean, think about that tonight. There's going to be a lot of power outages to the system we got. So, what was that? Some weird stuff popping up here. I'm going to go through the chat room here, but in essence, guys, that's what you got to watch out for. Is you have to look out for E1, E2, and E3 when you get a high altitude electromagnetic pulse or an electromagnetic pulse from a nearby nuke. will also put out an EMP, just won't reach as far. The reason that you worry about the high altitude one is it's just like a radio tower. You got to be high up to reach over the curvature of Earth, the round Earth. That's why radio towers that reach further have to be higher, because Earth has curvature. Hello, flat earthers. Are you listening? The Earth is a sphere. Am I clear? Anybody that knows RF, radio frequency stuff, people work with it regularly, including high altitude pilots, know this. If you, so Earth is a sphere. Let me be clear. It is not flat. Some people's brains are flat, but not the Earth. So Scooby Snack says, what is the difference between E and G? Okay. Geomagnetic storms are levels of geomagnetic storms. It's an intensity level, a voltage level that you're going to expect. That's what it is. I showed the chart earlier for that. I've just shut that down. So the G levels are the geomagnetic storms. It's the intensity of the geomagnetic storm, which is still how much of a E3 do you get, basically. It's like grading E3s. Really, that's what it boils down to. What about buried power lines, says Cha-Cha? Yes, buried power lines will pick up E3. Absolutely. Big time. In fact, that's one of the things they did discover in some of the Soviet weapons tests. I was in here talking about this, just talking about it from the engineering standpoint, talking about what the Russians did. I showed this in one of my last live videos I did for you guys. I actually showed one of these Soviet weapons tests and what it was doing, had it pulled up at that time. You can go back and look at that. But I was talking about the effects, the ground effects. And one of my other mods, I may take a wrench from her if she hasn't calmed down, just come in here and quit blaming Russia, quit blaming Russia, stop blaming Russia. I wasn't even talking about Russia other than from the standpoint of the scientific analysis of where they monitored a power line and the voltages and amperages they were seeing on. Yeah, the Russians had instrumented this line in the ground, and it was picking up 1,800 to 3,600 amps, huge amperages. And I was just talking about this from the standpoint of protecting your home. And she got all bent out of shape. Oh my gosh, jumping on me. And then somebody corrected her, says, Greg's not talking about that. And then she said, oh, he will. And I might, but that wasn't my subject for the night. That was not my subject for that night. Now, I have talked about, look, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on in the world right now in Ukraine with an invasion. Okay. I'm going to come back and do some specific dedicated videos where I'm going to go in and talk about these things. I'm going to dissect it. It's going to take more than I want to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some of the things a lot of people assume are true. So we have a lot of propaganda out there. And you know how you make propaganda work? You start with a body of truth and you put a spin on it, okay? And you take something that's got some truth to it and you wrap a lie around it. It's kind of like a hamburger with a piece of bacon wrapped around it. Makes you want it even more. That's how propaganda works. So you take something that's got some truth in it, enough that people will buy into it. And then you tell people what they want to hear. You combine those and you'll grab people and reel them in every time. You just toss that hook out there and you can reel them in. It's like fish out of a ice fishing hole, one after another after another. You can reel people in all night and they'll be totally bought into what you tell them. People buy into what Stephen Banoon tells them. They buy into that stuff all the time. Hey, Canadian Prepper had a video out today or yesterday, I believe it was today, talking about how people buy into stuff, about how, what was it? He really had a pretty good video on this, and I'll give him a shout out, Nate. Unfortunately, Nate don't believe in he don't believe in grand solar minimum. He is really caught on global warming side of the equation. And I disagree with him on that standpoint. And I have actually talked about this through chatting with each other. We never really spoke directly. And I've not had a direct contact to him. I need to see if I can get in touch with him. But he, just because I disagree with somebody on one area, don't mean I won't listen to them. They don't put out a lot of other good content. He does. He's a good analyst typically, and he puts out a lot of good content. In fact, we've shared some of the same interviewees. He's also interviewed Arthur Bradley. He's also interviewed just recently, finally got a hold of Dr. Peter V Pry. And I've been interviewing Pry for years. Of course, I know Pry. I got him to come to Alabama 3 times. I know Pry personally. I support Pry in I'm part of his EMP task force on National and Homeland Security. I'm the Alabama State Director. So Pry, I can call Pry right now. I got his phone number. I got his email. I talked to him. And I talked to other people in the organization. I've had Pry on my channel many times. I can get him back anytime I want to have him. I just don't want to pick on him all the time. And y'all seen the video I did with Dr. Pry, and it was shown also on Lee's channel. But Nate with Canadian Prep finally got Pry, and I did a video with Jay Block today. He's going to show on Nate's channel tomorrow. So we've had Nate's managed to pick up 3 of the guys that I have interviewed, but I interview a lot more people than that. There's nobody brings you guests like I do. Nate's channel is 13.5 times larger than mine. That guy makes a lot of money. He sells his own products through his huge store he's got. He makes a lot of money. He's got full-time staff. He's got a guy that's nothing but a cameraman. He jokes and calls him his commie cameraman. I like Nate. Like I said, I'm not one of these guys. Oh, I disagree with you. And that's one little point. So I'm going to unsubscribe. I'm not going to watch anymore because you said this. And there's probably people say it all the time in the comments. No 2 people on earth believe exactly the same thing. So if that's your attitude, you shouldn't subscribe to or watch anybody, because ain't nobody believes things exactly like you do. So sometimes you got to agree to disagree in certain areas, but there's other areas you can work on. And I deal with a lot of people on that basis. But Nate does see into a lot of things very well. I'm going to give him some credit. But one of the things he was talking about tonight was how a lot of people are so easily deceived and pulled into things. He went into great detail about that, and I thought he had a good video on it. So I'm not going to steal his thunder. You can check it out. Go to Canadian Prepper. It turns out that his channel is the most watched channel by viewers of my channel. So he's popular with you guys. In fact, it's the single most popular channel listed according to the people who watch this channel. Now, the people in the chat tonight, I think most of the people that come in this chat, I think the single most popular channel is Lee's channel, or Lee's channels. So we'll just put it out there that way. But, or Rex, a lot of you guys watch the Leak Project. Flux capacitor is the key. There you go, Antonio. I learn from all the people I disagree with about something. Good book, Purdy Grace. Good point. So, we got to keep that in mind. But it's easy for people to be deceived. What was his example? I'm trying to remember. What was his primary example on there? But I like Nate. I like his coverage. I like what he says. I watch him all the time myself, but I don't agree with everything he says. And he's actually commented on one of my videos. He didn't agree when I was talking about grand solar mineral, and I knew he wouldn't like that. But even after that, I put a comment on his channel a couple of years ago. He liked that comment so much he pinned it above his own comments where he advertises stuff. That means you really appreciate someone. He pins your comment, he really appreciates it. So Nate's that way too. He's got friends that he don't agree with on everything, but they're still friends. They talk. Like he and the guy that does the Atlas shelters. They don't agree on everything, but they're friends. I think that's important. You don't have to agree with everything with somebody to be a friend with them. I got friends that I don't agree with at all on many things, but we're still friends. We find commonality in other areas. John Kalishan the fourth is the way to go. What is that? Oh, Kalishan. Oh, so you're talking about absorbent stuff. I've been on that protocol. Okay. And we got Michael Jackson in the house. Wonder why we quit making transformers. Well, Michael, probably because they were cheaper coming from other countries. We get transformers. The really big ones are coming from South Korea in Germany, Siemens and probably Samsung. So the funny thing is that now the Korean company actually has a subsidiary. They've got a company. They've got a plant in Montgomery, Alabama, and they do make some transformers there. I don't think they're making the largest ones. They're not making them at the quantity they make them in South Korea, but that's a start. Having domestic production capabilities is very important. So hopefully we can really support that plant in Montgomery. I was on Lee's channel earlier to catch the details on the line of storm, so to get the time stamps for the arrival. Okay, very good. Yeah, Lee was carrying that. Yeah, I didn't want to mention his name there, Lee. Yeah, that's one of the guys who talks about, promotes those devices all the time, and he makes a killing doing that. And I'm sure, since I cover EMP more than about any other channel, I could make a lot of money if I really would promote that stuff. I don't do that. But I get some people come on my comments all the time. Oh, Greg, you're just a shield. Oh, Greg, you're just promoting all this junk, this food. Guys, I'm gonna tell you what. Yeah, let's have a look at it. If I'm promoting something, it's useful. It's a good product, and I got it myself. Okay. Yeah. This stuff lasts 25 years. This bucket's got a 2-week supply in it. This bucket is lightweight. If you want to bug out, you want something you can carry that's lightweight. Now, hey, I will tell you to buy dry beans and rice all day long, but you ain't going to carry 2 weeks of it supply that gives you 2,000 calories a day and something that's this light, not with beans and rice. And sometimes that's important to have. Also, you can bury this in the ground for a cache. You know, when they come knocking on doors looking to see what you got in your pantry, they're going to take what you got. If this stuff is buried, this works. I'll tell you to garden. I tell you to save your food. And canning is the best way to do it, canning or drying. But glass jars, you're going to have problems burying glass jars. I'm not saying you can't do it, but that's very problematic. This stuff, though, has these pouches. I mean, the packaging and the weight of this stuff is great. These pouches, there's 4 servings in this pouch right here, guys. You got to prepwithgreg.com to get this stuff. This is a creamy chicken flavored rice. This one is. There's different things in here. Different things. Whoa. Here's a buttermilk pancake mix. Yeah, there's powder on this, but I ripped open one of these packages. And when I ripped it open, the powder went poof everywhere and got inside of this bucket. But each of those pouches can make it inside. And by the way, like I said, one of those pouches has got 4 servings as compared to this big, hard, heavy can over here, which has just got 2 servings. Now, cans are good too, because this stuff can also last a very long time. But, you know, the flavor will diminish a lot over time with canned stuff. Anything acidic in a can, like tomato juice, tomato soup, or fruits, will eat through the can and rust it out. And of course, will become contaminated. Anywhere you get a breach in the can, you get exposure to air, and it will get contaminated. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's something you got to worry about. And these cans are hard. You put that in your backpack, and that's going to be hitting you in your back. Those pouches are easy to carry. This is heavier. That's lighter. To carry 2 weeks worth of food and cans is really going to take a lot of volume and be extremely heavy. Yeah, sure, you got to add water back to this stuff, but that's easily done. I've got videos talking about how to purify and sanitize water. And oh yeah, Mr. Dave Hodges, that's 2 separate things. A lot of YouTube channels miss that. And I think water filtration is all you got to do. No water filter is going to take out the viruses. Now, you might kill some of them if you add a silver into it, but by and large, you need to have, you got to boil your water or have other means to sanitize it, to kill fully all the microorganisms that escape through your filter. New days, can't bury glass jars with metal lids. Yeah, they rust real fast. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. Lee says, not sure you want to be a Lee. Some people may call you everything under the sun. I get called that too. So that's just it. When we come out here and we're making cases, there's always somebody, oh, that's smarter. It's this, it's that, you know, and they don't know what the heck we're talking about. Arnold Smith, and 1812, there was an earthquake in New Madrid. Oh yeah, caused the old Mississippi River to run north. There's a deep fault there. Yeah, that's true. That's the New Madrid fault, and it caused the biggest earthquake in American history. And that earthquake went on for weeks, months, I think. That was a huge series of earthquakes. And one day it'll go off again. When it does, it will rip a lot of those power lines in our grid. That can cause a grid failure right there. So we got several root causes to bring down our power grid. If we don't get our power grid hardened, the sun will take it out eventually. If we don't get our power grid hardened, man may take it out with a high altitude electromagnetic pulse, by hacking, or by direct ballistic attacks upon the power grid. It is thought by many that if we fall under attack by another country, they will hit us with a multi-pronged attack. It will be EMP, cyber attacks, and direct attacks upon the transformers. And we have evidence of these of a dry run of a direct kinetic attack. I mean, going bang bang at the transformers from the transformers that serve the power grid at the Metcalf station, PP&G Metcalf station, serving San Jose back in 2013. 2013 on April the 16th. There was an attack. Just so happens at the same time, around the same time frame, the Changchun gang tramp steamer from North Korea was steaming around in the Caribbean and the South and in the Gulf of Mexico with 2 erect missiles and missile launchers inside of it in the cargo hold. Maybe they even put them on the deck for an exercise during this time frame. And it was also when one of their satellites, the first flew over Washington, D.C., was on the same day that the Metcalf station was attacked. Was that interesting? Is that interesting or what? And we don't know what's in that satellite. For all we know, it could have a nuke in it that could generate an EMP. We do not know for a fact what's on that satellite. And the strange thing about it is James Oberg was the only American ever permitted to go in North Korea, supposedly to see and inspect the satellite. James Oberg is both a writer and an engineer. He's an actual aerospace engineer, very good one, I might add, and a very good writer also. James Oberg told me, I need to get him on my channel. James Oberg told me that he went and they showed him a satellite, a data satellite. He said, okay. And he looked at it, it was a satellite claim, but they would not let him witness the installation of that satellite on the rocket. So they thought they would get him just because they showed him a satellite on a counter, basically, to say, okay, that's the satellite, you're good. But they did not let him see him put it in the rocket. He will not assert what was launched on that rocket. The fact that they did not let him see what was installed in that rocket tells me and makes him think that they were pulling a deception. He does not believe that satellite was installed in a rocket. If it was, he believes they would have let him see it being installed. So what did they put on that rocket? What did the North Koreans launch into orbit? What's flying over our heads right now? They didn't want that to be seen. They tried to pull this. They thought that by pulling him over there and showing him the satellite, they could pull the wool over our eyes. But James Oberg was too smart for that. James Oberg saw through it. And James Oberg claims that launch complex has since been camouflaged, and they got an underground rail line running to it, so they can launch stuff without us even knowing what's being launched. And right now, North Korea has 2 satellites in orbit around the Earth, either KSM 3 and 4, I think. I have to go back and check the nomenclatures on those satellites. 2 satellites on Earth orbit, but James Oberg will tell you that he cannot assert what was put on that rocket because they did not let him witness the installation of that satellite. Is that suspicious or what? So he's not buying it, and neither should we. So we could get hit. We really could. It could be a multi-pronged attack. We know that China, China, Iran, and Russia are all 3, and North Korea, very active in Venezuela. And it's known that Iran has been sending missiles to Venezuela. Iran has produced missiles that can launch satellites. If you can launch satellites, you can launch very substantial warheads. It's also known that China has invented a satellite launcher that can launch from a cargo container off of a ship, and even showed a video of that. Interesting. That's not how you do a satellite launch. You don't need that scenario to launch a satellite. So what were they really up to? Oh yeah, just kind of like North Korea with the Chung gang with 2 erect missile launchers and ISO shipping containers. Interesting. And you know, I've been concerned because we don't have a dew line aimed south. Something launches high enough, we don't sit on the radars. We're looking south. They're looking for aircraft coming in. You know, it's like what you might have at any coastal area. They're just looking for aircraft. The satellites we got looking over the Arctic are looking for missiles coming in up in space. So those satellites are really looking up. Some of those radar systems. But what we got to Gulf is nothing like that. So you can fly something up on a trajectory and come down over, or you have a cruise missile coming at low altitude. Those radars are not going to see it. We could totally get a surprise attack from the south. The rocket that I built and launched in October of 2000, for which this was the test motor, will not be seen. Yes, me built a rocket and launched it from a balloon that could have totally evaded the radars. And where do I do that? Floating around in the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, in the year 2000 on a small budget, $150,000. So don't tell me that can't be done. I could have done it. If I'd had the warhead, I could have done it. Because I don't have a warhead, don't want one, wouldn't have one. Holy smoke. But lots of people got that kind of stuff. So don't tell me it can't be done. I did it, operationally speaking, on a shoestring budget 22 years ago. Yeah. With a group of amateurs operating out of a couple of garages. Yes. So don't tell me it can't be done. It can be done. That's one of the things that really woke me up. Wow, we're doing this. We're hitting space with stuff we're launching out of a garage. You know, technology is proliferating. And that was 22 years ago. And we didn't have all the little fancy electronics your cell phones got today. We had to devise our own electronics, build our own boards to do the kind of stuff that comes in your cell phone. So I have a war face, says Ace Lee. Very good. So that's the bottom line, guys, is that we could get attacked easily. So I was really impressed. See, I've been worried about Venezuela. I've been saying to myself, you know, if somebody wanted to attack the United States and have deniability, plausible deniability, where you couldn't say it was this one or that one, the perfect launch site would be Venezuela, specifically offshore, because even Venezuela couldn't claim who made the launch. They might know, and every one of them there might know, but they could deny it. So if there's a launch from offshore from Venezuela, you wouldn't know. Was it North Korea? Was it Iran? And I got reason to believe that Iran has 2 nukes, by the way. Is it, and has had, and they're very close to having a lot more. Is it North Korea, Iran, Russia, or China? Now, North Korea, according to congressional testimony by William Graham, who was told by generals from the Soviet Union after the wall fell, when the Soviet Union, Russia and the United States thought we were going to be buddy-buddy, told him that they provided EMP superweapon technology to North Korea. North Korea has it, and those weapons are about your 300 kiloton devices, which North Korea has tested already, devices in that realm. The smaller nukes are more likely to give a better gamma ray pulse that creates a more powerful EMP, fact, the EMP superweapons are not your largest nukes, because the largest nukes have to be shielded too much. So that's what you're looking at. North Korea, China, and Russia currently possesses or has the technology to possess and the capabilities EMP superweapons. Iran could be there. And who knows, they might even provide it to Venezuela for all we know. Who did what? Who's on first? Who's on second? Who would you accuse? Right now, we'd probably accuse Russia of whatever for anything. So if China want to get rid of Russia, they might go down to Venezuela and launch their little portable system that I showed in the previous video. And we would automatically assume Russia did it. North Korea might be prodded to do that. An EMP superweapon blowing up over 100 miles in altitude is not going to leave the residue that you're going to find on Earth, where you can trace the isotopes and trace it back and say it came from this place, it came from that place. You're not going to be able to do that. And furthermore, we may not be able to respond militarily, because an EMP superweapon may fry our entire military hardened command and control systems. We may not be able to return fire of any kind if we knew who did it. So there you go. If you want to, James Bond's, series used to have these, evil villains who wanted to provoke war between Russia and the United States, and then they thought they would own the world, after Russia and the United States annihilated each other. That was the theme of a couple of the James Bond villain movies. Well, China could do that. North Korea could do that. China would stand the most to gain. The world would be their oyster if they could get rid of the United States and Russia too. Look at that, guys. They got plenty. China's got the means and the motive. More than anyone. China will not take Taiwan, but we are in their way. Without us on the game field, Taiwan is theirs. It'd be easier for them to take on India without us out there. And also, Russia supplies India with arms. So that's the weird thing of the alliance between Russia and India. Kind of works against China. India hates China, but they're in bed with Russia. Russia and China are in bed in many ways. But Putin doesn't trust China. I said a long time ago, we should have made a peace deal with Russia and worked against China, but we blew that opportunity big time. And of course, because we were weak on our side, Russia decided they want, and we were pushing them all the time. They decided that they wanted to take Ukraine. Now, just because they had fears of invasion, I'm assuming they did, because Russia's been invaded many times and a lot of people have been killed in those invasions. So it's easy to understand why Russia would have the phobias they've got. But two wrongs don't make a right. It doesn't give them the right to go in and wipe out so many civilians in Ukraine. It does not give them the right to do that. Just because they don't want Ukraine in NATO does not give them the right to go in and do what they've done, the degree of which they've done it. They've committed war crimes. I've got people who've told me on my chats, said Russia had the right to do what they did. No, they did not. War is not right in the first place. Yeah, I understand. I know why they did it, but that don't mean it's right. It does not mean that I got to agree with it. And some people will get mad at me because I'm not fawning over Russia. I'm not going to. Now, I'm going to tell you what, in my humble opinion, all governments are wrong. They're all corrupt, ours included. I think we need to get rid of national governments. We need smaller governments, not bigger governments, not a world government. So a lot of people that are against nationalists say, well, we got to have this big international. Oh, that will be far worse than anything you can imagine. Power corrupts and absolutely, power corrupts absolutely. You want to put all that in the hands, the whole world's power in the hands of a small committee of, globalists? Ooh, I would hope not. I would hope not. That would be the most evil, corrupt system you could ever imagine. Total power. We would be in huge trouble. We don't need such governments. We don't even need national governments. The only reason we need national governments right now, we have to protect ourselves from other national governments. So if we can find a way, a mano, person to person around the world, to shuck these big governments, we'd all be better off. Chinese, the Russians, and Americans. We wouldn't be having to fight each other. There's good people. I said this many times. There's good people in every hamlet, village, shire, city, oblast, province, state, however you want to divide any line you want to divide it around the world. There's good people in every place of every faith, creed, background, religion, color, race, whatever you want to call it, ethnicity. There's good people from all these backgrounds. But the governments pit us against each other. They put out propaganda to persuade their people to think one way or another, including us. We're all played with each other, against each other. So we're played hard. And they use this as excuses to make war. And sometimes that war is as much against their own people as it is against others. Because what the leaders love more than anything else is maintaining their power. They don't deserve it. Nobody on earth deserves that kind of power. No one. George Washington understood that. That's why he wouldn't take more than 2 terms as president. He could have been king of America. He literally could have been another king. But he didn't fight a war to get away from the king to become a king. You got to give that man a lot of regard. Very seldom is there a case in history where somebody had a revolution and didn't just take over the whole country and rule it like a dictator. He could have. There were people that wanted to give that to him, and he refused it. And yet we've got idiots in this country in academia who attack our founding fathers. They are idiots. They're abject stupid. They claim they're intellects. Oh, we're intellects because we're challenging the system. We're smarter about it because we can challenge this. No, you're a stupid idiot. You're absolutely an abject idiot. These people were extremely smart who wrote these documents, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. They were extremely smart. Oh, this is outdated documents written 200 years ago. Well, those guys weren't distracted by all the news and media and electronics and devices we had today. People are the same back then as they were today. They understood governance. They understood psychology and people and leadership, because that's what they studied. They understood that better than anyone alive today. That was their expertise. They had just as many brain cells as anybody alive today. And they used them. And they dedicated those brain cells to matters of governance. Those people knew more and were smarter than any single living person today in the matters for which they were writing. Nobody today compares to them. Were they perfect? No. I never said that. Did they have flaws? Yes, we're humans. We all have flaws. And they were coming out of a different culture, a different time in which they accepted things that we do not accept today, like slavery. Several of the founding fathers owned slaves, and it did cause them a lot of quandary having come from these cultures, but they planted seeds. They planted seeds with what they wrote, and they knew it in their heart, but they had trouble understanding how to make it actual given where they were coming from. But for a person to write the kind of things they wrote when they wrote these is amazing. For them to have said, let me find it here. Declaration of Independence. The second paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these, this was not saying this is the only one, just among these, this is a few of them, among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Meaning they get to choose how they go about these things on their own without being told by the government. The Constitution of the United States was a document written to limit government in every way possible. Yet today we perverted that to empower government in every way possible. That is a perversion. Our government is a perversion. So let's keep that in mind, guys. Our government is very perverse. But that was revolutionary words to be written by a man who was a slave owner. A slave owner actually wrote those words. And those were revolutionary for anybody at that time, whether you own slaves or not, because most people did not buy into that at that time. Even though he owned slaves, he planted a seed that would change the world, including the kind of world he owned, what he participated in. And he knew that. So he was having to come to peace with that. And they eventually, that's where the world went. Today, we reject the notion of slavery, but there's more slavery today than there ever was. So if you guys want to go pick on those guys, you better look around today. Look at China. You know, we've got kids today in the United States who are educated by our educational system who are anti-American. And they use our founding fathers as an excuse. And what they support is Chinese Communist Party. Oh, these guys are good. Yet the Chinese Communist Party is engaged in slavery, is engaged in genocide. These guys claim to be anti-fascist. Well, what has the Chinese Communist Party been mostly of late? They're only now switching back to communism. They went through a period because they needed some economic growth of a governance from other than fascism and other than communism. Any government other than communism will give you more economic prosperity than communism, because communism is the most unproductive form of government known to man. It is destructive. It breaks things. It makes things go to junk. That's why the Soviet Union had so much trouble. That's why they eventually broke apart. Now, Putin is popular in Russia. Why? Because the Russian economy is zooming. Well, the Russian economy was destined to zoom as soon as they got rid of communism, even though it is an oligarchy, even though it uses mainly mafia techniques, because it was really the underground economy that kept the Soviet Union going. The only thing that kept the Soviet Union operable was the underground economy that was run by the mafia, because communism did not work. Communism is an utter failure. You take one of the most resource-rich nations on earth, Venezuela, and look what's happening. They can't feed themselves. They're starving, sitting on oil. Why? Because they have a communist government. I've been told by liberals, oh, well, that's because it's corrupt. Well, show me a communist government that's not a one-party system. All one-party systems go to corruption. The communism believes you've got to step down and squish a whole lot of other things. It's corrupt from its inception. All communist governments are corrupt. Now, pure communism like might exist in a small tribe, it might be different. But that's not exercised by national governments. They claim that was their goal. They never could have gotten there. Never. They claim they had to rule the whole world to get there. It never would have been that. It would have been fascism. Communism and fascism are so close. You wouldn't let them both totalitarian governments. They have different modes of economy, but they're both totalitarian governments. And we've already seen that the government can switch back and forth, like in China. I'm saying things I probably ought not be talking on here, but and what was just coming on? So just bear that in mind, my friends. The communism is horrible. It's repressive. The Nazism is horrible. It's repressive. I stand firmly against both. I stand firmly for freedom. This is why I started the Freedom Restoration Foundation. I've had people come in my chat room and accuse me of being a Nazi lover. So others have accused me of liking communism. Really? You don't know me. You're an idiot. If you think I like Nazism, you're an idiot. If you think I like racism, you're an idiot. I'll just put it out there. That's exactly. Look, I got a multiracial family. I've got a child who is black. I got a grandchild who is Mexican. I do not support racism or fascism or communism. I stand against all of these things. I stand against it big time. Now, I am white as they come. My ancestry is Viking, and I do identify with a lot of Viking ways in many ways. But that doesn't mean I have to accept racism. I've been told by some, oh, well, why aren't you defending the white people? I defend everyone. So, but see, the problem is that some of these theories, like CRT, they will promote the other race, and if you don't believe in this, then yeah, I don't buy that. I tell you that's racist too. A lot of policies in this country are racist, and there is reverse racism. All racism is bad. All discrimination is bad. Does that mean you can't give people a hand up? Yeah, sure. Greenland, I'm Viking. Very good. Yeah, I'm Viking. I'm proud of it. I'm white and I'm proud of it. But that don't mean I can't be proud and love my black child. I love my black child immensely, very immensely. Okay. And her mom's family is a wonderful family. You know, the people of Kenya are darn good people. I mean, the people I met from there, they're hardworking. They got a good heart. And my gosh, and once you're family, you're always family. I can't say that for all the people I know over here. Shoot, they're some of the best people I've ever met. Anywhere. Honest, hardworking, down to earth, and smart. The family's got lawyers and business people in it. Smart people. Don't tell me they're not smart. They're as smart as anybody walking around in this country here. Just as smart and a lot harder working, with a lot better hearts than most people I know. I don't want to hear people throwing smack at them. I might throw smack back. Okay? And idiots that come into my channel and accuse me of being a Nazi because I happen to have some friends that were German rocket scientists. Excuse the heck out of me. And by the way, some of those German rocket scientists I knew, like Conrad Edinburgh, did a whole lot to promote and help some young black guys in this country who were students studying science. Like, well, we put a lot of work and time in helping a couple of those do getaway special experiments that flew on the space shuttle. So you don't really, people make a lot of assumptions and they don't know what the heck they're talking about some of these people. These were, I knew some very good people who were part of that German rocket team. Every one of them I knew was extremely polite. Some of the most polite people you've ever seen. So, don't go just throwing smack around, guys. A lot of people out there, when I know it's this, and it's all Operation Paperclip, blah, 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 and they did all this. You have no idea. You don't know what you're talking about. And you don't know these people. I knew them. The ones I knew were good people. Like there's good and bad in anything. Conrad Dannenberg in particular, he put a lot of his time into teaching young people. He volunteered a lot of time at space camp, and he would teach and encourage people of any race, background, or religion, and he would help them equally. Okay, that's why one of the reasons I admire that man. And I've carved his Christmas turkey. Been in his house carving his Christmas turkey, probably 4 times at least. So, yeah. Scratch, I'm English. Scratch is English. Brian Keith, Greg, the ones screaming Nazis, the ones being the Nazis. Exactly. Antifa is a bunch of brown shirts. They're Nazis as they come. Claim they're anti-Nazis. They are Nazis. You're exactly right. They are Nazis. And you got these idiots out there promoting communism. Okay, when I was, there's this old saying that if you're not liberal when you're young, you don't have a heart. If you're not conservative when you're older, you don't have a brain. Well, I must have a heart and a brain. When I was a kid in high school, until I got to the 10th grade, I thought I was a communist. And I had a history teacher take me aside, and we had some good long discussions, and he convinced me that communism was a failed system, that it wouldn't work because of the incentives that it robbed societies of. They couldn't be economically competitive and produce stuff, that they would fall apart. He convinced me of that, and I accepted it. I concluded he was right. So for a while, I thought I was socialist until I actually got in the government, in the military, and saw how governments really ran. I became a staunch conservative. I'm mostly a libertarian, but I do vote along party lines that I think will win elections, okay? So I find myself voting Republican a lot. In fact, that's how I vote. I vote Republican, but I have a libertarian heart, kind of like Rand Paul, that family. That's my brand of conservatism more than anything. I believe in freedom, first and foremost. I believe in freedom. But, I've been on different sides of this. I can understand the people over here When I was a kid in high school, I was a member of the Cousteau Society. It was an environmentalist organization launched by Jacques Cousteau. I understand how they think. Why? I was there. But that's also why I can understand the dangers that their thinking creates because I was there. I understand their dim view of humanity, which I now consider wrong. So it takes a big person to admit they made mistakes. So as a kid, I fell into a lot of these lines of thinking. I can tell you now that I made big mistakes, but I was a kid. Fortunately, I outgrew it. Once I saw how the world really operates, I grew up. I outgrew it. So when I stand here talking to you about these things, I come from a background of experience. So when some leftist wants to lecture me, it's like, dude, I've already been there. I outgrew your thinking. I was there. I outgrew it. I was a staunch supporter of President Ronald Reagan. I got a picture of him somewhere. Here, where did I put that? I have a signed picture of Ronald Reagan somewhere. Or I had one. I don't know where I put it. But yeah. So seeing how the world really worked once I got in the workforce changed my attitude about a lot of things. Big time. Flipped my view 180 degrees. And I saw how the world really worked, what really worked, what didn't. A lot of people can't go there. They can't switch like that. I believe in God's word, his son, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. All right, there you go, Arnold. Josh, my biggest mistake was doing banker wars. Oh my gosh, our whole world is still locked into that. Nicole, we all spell wrong on purpose here. Yeah, we do that. We spell things wrong here just so we don't trip things. It's just like I say the word nug. I know what a nug is. Have you hugged your nug today? Don't forget to feed your nug. They need kibbles. They do spit them kibbles up pretty fast though. So, on occasion. All right, I'm going to go through the chat room. I got it right here. I don't have it loaded on my computer. I'm going to go try to catch up on what some of you guys have been saying. Then I got to go out and water microgreens. Democracy is corruption waiting to happen. That's true, Scratch. That's why a republic is typically a better system, because people vote themselves out of the largesse of the treasure. In a democracy, no true democracy has ever survived more than a single generation. But a republic also has its limitations, and our founding fathers understood that. That's why they put all the checks and balances in the Constitution. And even with that, Thomas Jefferson thought that the tree of freedom would have to be refreshed with the blood of patriots every 50 years. He just didn't see it lasting. And Ben Franklin, when asked what they created in Philadelphia, when he went out of the Independence Hall, told him, a republic if you can hang on to it. All the founding fathers were very skeptical about how long this will last, because they understood human nature. And in fact, we've perverted that system grossly today. It is not, and bears very little semblance to the intentions that they had. And our corrupt Supreme Court goes along with the perversions of this system. I think everybody in DC needs to be gone. If you got power and you're in Washington, DC, you need to be gone. I would say that for all the national governments, everybody in power on earth needs to step down. We need new blood, but we need to break up these national governments. I think they're perversions themselves. Even the state is probably too large. I think the ideal size of a government is a county. I don't believe we should have any government larger than the county. And at least the sheriff is elected. So in my opinion, he's a higher level law enforcement than any federal officer, or even any officer appointed by a mayor, police officer, if you will. Anyone seeking power should never be given it. Exactly. If you heard my interview with Guy Block, he's wanting to serve a couple of terms as governor of New Mexico. I said, man, we need to send you to Washington, D.C. Oh, no, I don't want it. I don't want to go to Washington, D.C. I said, you're exactly the kind of guy we need in Washington, D.C. We should never let anybody go that wants to go. We need somebody who don't want to go. You're exactly what we need. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. That's exactly what we need. Check out that interview. And check out, I did an interview yesterday with the Assistant Secretary of the Army, former Assistant Secretary of the Army. And so y'all need to check that video out. I'll pull these videos up in a minute. I'll have to reopen my browser and go back to it. Let me go through the chat session, but do check out my last 2 videos. He's running for Congress. Colonel with boy, I have a hard time saying his name. Wendinsky. He is running for Congress here in my district in Alabama. He was the former Assistant Secretary of the Army, and he's a prepper. He came to our prepper meet. He understands where we're coming from. He understands freedom, and same with Guy Block. These are 2 really good guys. Oh yeah, and Block is also been interviewed by Nate at Canadian Prepper, and he will do a video with him tomorrow. Nate does ask a good question. He might have had a better interview than I did. That's a good possibility. But Nate also has a lot of resources I don't have available. I do everything by the seat of my pants because I'm also got a full-time job. Oh yeah, by the way, Sunday, I got to get up at 5 a.m. and get on this computer here for 12 hours Sunday for the wet dress rehearsal. For the wet dress, we're actually going to fill the space launch system out on the pad at the Kennedy Space Center. I will be supporting that from right here. I am part of that effort. So let's hope we don't blow it up. But that is what I'll be doing. So, I still have a day job, a full-time day job. I've got a worm farm. I've got an aquaponics greenhouse. I got to go out water microgreens. I'm trying to build a mushroom place. I've got a lot of fire fingers, and I'm trying to run the Freedom Restoration Foundation. So I am highly divided. So I don't have the kind of time, and I don't have staff available like Nate has to produce videos with all kinds of bells and whistles and video and music and blah, blah, and all the fancy stuff he does. And I don't have the editing time. I don't have time to sit down and plan things out like he does. But yet I spend a lot of time on this channel. If you've noticed before, I've went in and shown you, I look through dozens of articles every day, scanning the news for things of interest. And I take the most interesting articles and I email them back to myself so that I can pull them up and reference them in a lot of my videos, which I do sometimes. That takes me several hours a day to do. When I do a video, it might be an hour video, but then it takes probably an hour just to get it uploaded and put the notes in it and everything, the thumbnail photographs and all that stuff. That's at least another hour. That's 2 hours of my time getting up a single video. Plus there's research time that goes in front. I might put some of my videos I have put weeks into, like when I got a major PowerPoint presentation. That's hard for me to do. Nate can do that on a regular basis, and he does. And more power to him. He can bring really nice content out there. And I enjoy his channel. I highly encourage y'all to watch him. I like Nate, but like I said, I don't agree with him on everything. You don't agree with him on everything. That don't mean we can't get along. So, but that's the difference between one. He's got more time to put into some of these interviews than I've got available to me. So he may do a better job in the question, maybe, or at least the presentation. It's going to look better because he's got a lot of editing resources and so forth. But you know what? I bring a broader spectrum of speakers than any other channel, I do believe. Nate's channel is 13.5 times bigger than mine. There's channels many times bigger than mine that do not bring you the caliber of speakers that I bring. Nowhere near the caliber. So please promote my channel, guys. And there's channels smaller than mine that get a lot more views on every video. I'm talking 14,000 views normally. There's another prepper, Creekmore. He don't have the background of me. He's good. He knows prepping. He's a good guy. But he gets a video that gets 1,000 views on my channel. His channel is smaller than mine. He gets 14,000 on his channel. Over and over, just like counting every video. Bing, 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 bing. I don't get that. Why? So I could use you guys promoting my videos, guys. I really can. I work hard to bring you this content. And yet I get knuckleheads. Okay, why do you promote all this stuff? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Guys, I don't make, on a good month, I might make $2 an hour, but I doubt it. It's more like maybe $1 an hour or even less some months, guys. So, but I asked them, are you a communist? you know, what you get the idea? I might make a lot of money for my time. Maybe I could be doing something else. I'm head over heels in debt. I got other issues. I'm trying to get a farm going. I got other ways I could be spending my time. I love you guys. I think this content needs to be shared. That's why I bring it out here. I mean, I could be doing other stuff easily. But look here, I spend 3 hours on here tonight, maybe. And I got a couple of, couple super chats. One from Doug, it was $2. And I got a $20 super chat, which I greatly appreciate. And so what's that, $22 tonight for 3 hours? You know what, I'm making my day job. I do make more money, but I'm still head over heels in debt. So yeah, most of my money is going to pay bills. Well, it's my YouTube channel that supports the farm, guys. This is how I support the farm. So just bear that in mind. This, I'm using this, what I get out of this to support my other endeavors. My payroll just pays my debt. That's about all it does. Guys, I got $106,000 in credit card debt. No, I didn't start it. I got kind of taken by somebody. I got more money in credit card debt than my house debt. Love your neighborhood. I love your neighbor at Green Greg's. I'm glad to see you tonight. Hope the storms didn't get too bad. Yeah, we're okay here. So I see that a lot of times these chat rooms, they get limited. I'm not carrying everything I had here, maybe because I refreshed it, but a lot of times some of the chat expires after a while. I'm going to go back through here and just go to the top of the chat room, and I'm going to go through and just kind of respond to the comments I've got. And I might pull up a video or two. All the sun says halo, where you get all the sun. Greenland New Days, LOL started it. Okay, talking to days. So everybody's talking to each other. That's what we're for here, guys. Now, oh wow, this has not been on. I see 8. So one of the oldest comments I got here is Ace These, I have a war face. I know that's way into this video. So I'm missing a lot of content here. I'm sorry, guys. Antonio Castellano says, we need a solar blue yacht. Yeah, that's what Lee came up with. He had a solar blue, electric blue, whatever you call his yacht. We need a solar blue yacht with a balloon launch and rocket defense systems. Allison Lee Wilbarger Defense Systems Inc. There you go. What do you think, Lee? Is Lee still in the room here? Due day, it says, if you had a warhead GG, you'd have to invoke Allison's law number 4, run fast. Oh, Arnold talking to Antonio. Bicycle Rider, the stock container ship is east coast of those countries, is in the east coast of those countries' rockets. Oh yeah, by the way, see, that's what impressed me about, so I was already worried about Venezuela. Nobody out there in the defense community was talking about that. Nobody was out there talking about that. They're all looking at other stuff. All your so-called defense analysts and blah, 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 all your think tanks. None of these walking, talking heads, the people, so-called experts you see on all these news shows, they weren't talking about this stuff because it hadn't occurred to them. All your supposedly self-appointed defense analysts, they hadn't come up with this piece of analysis. Nobody was talking about it. But one day I got this call from Stacy Savicki. And she said, Greg, she messaged me first, and I called her. She sent me this message. I called her. She said, Greg, I had this vision. She had this vision from Jesus Christ. But she went in a lot of detail about how this vision, how she'd been having visions and the things in her visions that authenticated her visions. But this one vision she had was really stark. She didn't know anything about weapon systems, missile systems, nuclear warheads. She didn't even know what an EMP was. She'd never heard of these things. She worked in a dairy. She had a farm, a homestead. Stacy Savicki, Sustainable Stewards. I see, like this. Yeah. And now she started a channel called Battle X. She had never heard of these things. She had this dream. She says, Greg, I had this dream. 2 missiles were fired from offshore from Venezuela, and they exploded nukes up in space over America. She never heard of these things. She was asking me about all this stuff. What did it mean? The fact that someone who had no knowledge in these areas had such a powerful dream blew my mind. That she understood and saw the attack coming from the one place that it was most probable that we'll get attacked from, that could be plausible, deniable. Since then, and I have been talking about this in several videos, I'm seeing other people now bring this up as a possible attack mode and something they're worried about. Now this is reaching the public discussion space. This is why we could be hit. This is why we're vulnerable, my friends. The sun may get us. And with all the international tension going on in the world right now, Russia might take us out. But then again, it might just be China. Who's got the most to gain? China. North Korea has something to gain too. They could get South Korea, get us out of their way, get us off their back. They could have South Korea, which is far more prosperous. It's got a lot of things that they like to have the North Koreans. North Korea would really love to take South Korea. They can't do it right now, not with us in their way. With us out of the way, that's what mischief they might play. Who'd be at risk? South Korea, Japan, the Philippines, Australia, the United States in the picture, India, most particularly Taiwan, China. And North Korea would have a lot to gain, especially China. China's got the most to gain. They have the means and they have the motive. Will they do it? Maybe the attack would take place at a time that we're having a solar storm. So we wouldn't know what it was. We might even think a solar storm did it to us. So watch it, guys. When these big solar flares comes to Earth and our grid fails, it might not be the solar flare that did it. If I were somebody wanting to make an attack and I had resources to launch from Venezuela, I'd be waiting for a really big solar flare. Because among other things, it would just add to the effect of the solar flare. And everybody on the ground would think the solar flare did it. Except for some people going, oh, this was over 200,000 volts per meter. This did a whole lot of damage. But you ain't gonna have no way to communicate to talk about it. And our Harden infrastructure, you'll be taking it might just amplify the effects of or the already strong EMP super weapons. And then they have their little sleeper cells go out. The redoing Metcalf station attacks, like the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard already told the world that he's got 20 sleeper cells in America who are positioned to do that. He admitted that. So how do we know that Iran, North Korea, and China wouldn't work together on this? It's possible. Very possible. So with the international tensions we're having right now with the war tensions, we'd blame Russia, even if China did it. And China probably knows that. They're probably, yeah. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's pray not. Guys, make yourself right with your maker. Make yourself right with your maker. Greater creator. I tell you that all the time. Make sure you always love your family. Tell them you love them. I hadn't finished chat. That's my final comments. Let me go through here. Ominous knowledge, the status quo. Okay. The ruble for the gas and trade with Russia. Oh, the ruble. Okay. Yeah, the ruble lost value, but it's coming back up. What's going to happen now is the dollar's going to lose value because of our stupid, weak president not knowing how to do things right. But then they probably want to take the dollar down anyway. Arthur Smith, this is all pointing to the biblical prophecies. Believe it or not, just watch things unfold. Winnie Lim, hi, Greg. Status quo, very nice to see you at Cha-Cha Greetings. Okay. Cha-Cha is giving the heart back to status. Okay. Trot's Family Garden, no, but they can see it with a satellite or see what. The time a charge gets from the sun to the satellites, it's just, less than a minute till it hits Earth, just seconds away. And that's how long it takes to know what polarity that solar mass ejection is when it hits us. If it's the same polarity as Earth's magnetosphere, it couples directly in, and wham, we got a problem. Hudson Bay could be a blind spot. blind spot. Cha-Cha Bicycle Rider, good to see you. Yeah, all right, Tom corrected that blind spot. See, I have to scroll through this stuff fast. It's getting late. It's 2:30. I got us to go out and do Walker Greens. I got to get up, come to work in the morning. Probably found your stash management. Oh, very suspect. I'm thinking of setups as drop down. We may have a lot of setups going on. Waking our GG. Will you tell us when it's no longer safe for us to close our eyes and go to sleep? Wow. You got to sleep sometime, guys. You got to sleep sometime. That's why you need people to have your back. That's why we're starting to form our tribe networks. Wise Owl, who's not in here tonight, has now got I've turned over her the job of organizing our tribe networks. And all you people that have emailed us, I'm gonna have to do a video on that topic as soon as she starts getting a handle on it to re-promote our survival tribes. Crimes against humanity. I wish someone would take Putin. Oh yeah. Bicycle rider, yes, correct. Well, there's a lot of people on this channel that just love Putin. They think he's the greatest thing since Jesus Christ. Yeah, his mother was Christian, but and maybe he was raised in it, believes in the Book of Revelations. But look, he's either poisoned or jailed every political opponent. He's got blood on his hands. Murder is not Christian. We got something called the 10 Commandments, and he's violated quite a few of those already, and does so regularly. So just how good of a Christian is he? I've got to question that. So I've just I just bought me a blonde painting for a mill. Blonde painting. Blonde painting. What do you mean there, Granny? GG says Granny. And higher education should be called commie indoctrination. It is. Big time. Big time. Josh Family Garden, you can only have one human fault, Greg. You still care about people like me. You can have one human fault. Well, usually we have a few more than one fault. But, we are human. We are human. And therefore, we're made imperfect. But, we have to recognize that. See, that's the most important thing, is to recognize that you don't know everything. What I tell you, everybody's got a slightly different worldview. So for anybody to be absolutely correct, there could only, since everyone is different, there could only at most be one. But probability is there are none. Nobody's perfectly correct. Therefore, we're all wrong to some degree in our way of assessing the world, the universe. None of us are absolutely 100% right. So we're all wrong. You need to recognize that to get to the level of humility that we need to have. We're supposed to have humility, not hubris. We're supposed to have humility. Humility is essential to be able to comprehend things. To be able to comprehend things, first you got to be able to question things and know that you really don't have all the answers that you are seeking. Even what you think is true may not be true. You've got to accept that. It's being able to do that that also protects you from propaganda. Question everything. Everything. Even the things you think you believe so closely. Question it all. There's no wrong with that. So Stacy says cha-cha. So And the truth will eventually bear itself back around. Like I say, I do believe in a greater creator. That, to me, is non-negotiable. I've seen enough, and I'm convinced. One time I questioned that too, but I have learned better. Just like I've learned better than communism. Madam Gross, we have a constitution of the democratically elected republic if we can keep it. We got to work on that, guys. We've let it get out of hand. The government is too big for its britches. We had a lot of good checks and balances, but they've short-circuited them and went around them with all kind of constructs that they've created, which are crazy. Are you freaking kidding me? Really? Freaking snow is coming down outside right now. No, it's almost April. Why do you got snow? Where you at, Brian? It's possible. Hey, I've seen it snow Memorial Day weekend in Colorado and Denver. I was at a conference in Denver on Memorial Day weekend, and we had a snow there one morning. Of course, I've seen people ice fish in the month of May in Alaska, standing on a lake. I don't think it would happen this year. And I'm Viking, Cha-Cha Greg. What's that crazy for someone to say? Oh, something I was talking about. Yeah, I get some crazy comments. People attacking me, scratch, I'm Aryan. Let's see, Joshua, so's the Iranians. Persians, I should say. Joshua Richards, Greg, you speak the truth and people don't like it sometimes. Well, it makes them uncomfortable. There's only one race, the human race. You're right, Matterman. Jamin says, Zen Jamin says, yeah, that sounds like the former, that's a homonym for the former leader of China. Love and freedom is that which enables choice. Amen to that. Eric says, good night. No, Chacha's telling Eric good night, excuse me. All right. Arnold says, the republic give away to democracy and democracies give away to anarchy. That's true. That is where the whole system, that's where the whole world is heading. Anarchy. I don't support anarchy. I think we need structures, but I think it needs to be mostly at the lower levels. Thanks to the fact that we have national level competitors like China, we got to have some form of national defense. So you need something of a federal government or a larger government as long as we got that to deal with, but it should be very limited. Day's family is all inclusive, says Jamin. Bicycle rider Greg, we are screwed. Everything you have said really hits my heart. It hurts in our lifetime. Something big is coming. I'm afraid something big is coming. That's why I tell you guys prepare. That's why I emphasize prepping. That's why I want to talk about swarming tribes. That's why I'm looking for energy systems and we can keep our vehicles running, because they don't want to take our gasoline from us. They don't want us driving gasoline powered vehicles. They want you to drive an electric vehicle. It's got an off switch that they can shut off and lock your doors while you're inside it and wait on the cops. Better yet, they want to make it auto. They want to make it a system that can drive itself, so it can take you to the police station. You step in your car, doors lock, and your car starts going to the police station. It's that lovely. They want to give you money that they can take back from you or tell you how you can't spend it. You can only spend it the way they allow you to spend it. That's your central bank digital currency that they want to come out with, a digital dollar. What a ripoff. That's one reason I promote gold backs. He can't tell you how the dollar might become worthless, but that gold back is always going to have some value because it's got gold in it, actual gold at a spendable amount. Quite a lovely thing. So, I promote things that I think are useful, things that, at least on some level, are going to work. I don't go out there and promote stuff that people are making false claims about, which a lot of channels do. It's very profitable. I could do that, but I won't do it. Stay smiley, Greg. All right, Scratch. Hey, I got you guys for company in that. I'm happy with that. You're my family. Y'all actually cheer me up a lot. I work with even Chinese engineers here that worked here, says Drops Family Garden. You know, look, let's get people from every place. I've had a couple of Chinese women used to come visit me in the summer times. They would come here. They wanted to move here eventually. I was quite interested maybe in, maybe striking up a relationship with one of them. Didn't never quite happen. And of course, now it might be very problematic. But she invited me to go to Guangdong. Said, hey, you got a place to stay anytime you want to come to Guangdong. Which that was nice. I would be afraid if I went there now, Xi Jinping would have probably imprisoned me. I'd probably never see the light of day again, given the things I've said. So yeah, I think me going to China would be a very risky proposition. See, I wouldn't have to worry about that in a republic that has freedom. Just because you differ with the government don't mean you should be imprisoned. That's part of the whole idea of freedom of speech. That only exists in many places, including this platform now. Isn't that interesting? Brian Keith says, hey, Greg, is the one screaming out? Says, yep, you're right, Arnold. When the lights go out and we are all in complete darkness, what color is your neighbor's friend's skin? Maybe we need to go into darkness to learn this. That's right. I've look, guys, and I know people of all any color that will help you big time. Voted Republican since Carter. Well, Michael Jackson, that's where I'm at. Carter is the one that flipped me. He flipped me to Republican. Sure enough. Randy Lana, okay. Good tip. Democracy is corruption waiting to happen, says Scratch, right? All the sun, shock effects, one or the other coming at us. Don't forget, love much. You're right, all the sun. We got to do love your neighbor, love your friends, and family, and tell them every day. The friends I had in college all went commie. We never talked because they're better. Yeah, they think they're better than you. Yeah, they aren't. Isn't that something? They always, I'm better than you because you don't think the way I'm better than you. Yeah, they're snobs. See, commie is supposed to be a classless society. So why is it that all these so-called classless leftists are snobs? A lot of them are. Well, maybe not all, but a lot of them are snobs. Big time. I find more snobs on that side than anywhere. Oh my God, all are snobs. I believe in God's word, his son, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. All right, I think I read that comment earlier there. That's from Arnold. Adam, in Christ there is no Jew or Gentile. Let's see, drops. I actually saw Ronald Reagan speak in Las Vegas and got to shake his hand. Wow. Wow, drops. That is awesome. Man, I wish I could shake Reagan's hand. Never met him in person. I've seen, Bush the elder speaking one time in person. I don't like that man. Well, he's gone now. But I had no love for the Bush family. All right, Nicole's going to bed. We're good night, Nicole. Feed your nug. There you go, all the sun. Cha-cha. Telling Nicole good night. Granny, look at this challenge. Yeah, life is a challenge. Absolutely. We got to take it as such. We got a lot of challenges these days. But you know what? It makes life interesting, at least. We're not bored. We pay them to treat us like they do. And there's a point. We actually pay for this crap, guys. There's more of us than there is of them. Don't ever forget that. Scratch agrees with Michael about the media. People are also legally classified as corporations. Saying that's something. Not all sheriffs are elected anymore. No, that's not good. They should be. We need ballots that we write on, and we must have an ID. Yeah, no, there's some discussion now about a blockchain type ballot and how it might eliminate some of the corruption. I see my discussion with the guy Block in my video that I did today. Y'all need to check out some of my latest videos, guys. I've had some excellent guests, very excellent guests. Brian, we are overdue to water the tree of liberty. Yeah, it looks like. I hope we can find a way to do it without blood. But hey guys, we're trying right now. That's why we set up the Freedom Restoration Foundation. Go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org. Check out the website. If you want to be part of it, email us. If you want to support the Freedom site, email us and put Freedom in the subject line. Email me at info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. Wise Al will be taking emails. And if you want to join our survival tribes, because we got to have each other's back, email me at same info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org and put tribe in the subject line. If you want to be part of both, put tribe and freedom, or freedom and tribe in the subject line. Madam Gross, there are excuses for upstanding statesmen. We have the swamp. Yeah, they got all kinds of excuses. All of a sudden, yes, you can do. Yeah, we can all do, guys. Drops Family Garden. I don't have time to do videos. I put out info and move on. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to work this stuff up and make them really look snazzy. But snazzy is what sells. That's why probably Canadian Preppers got a channel 13.5 times bigger than mine. But then again, Creekmore doesn't do snazzy videos. His audience is smaller than me, and he gets lots more views. He'll get 14,000 views when I get 1,000 or 2,000. Interesting. So I don't know why they get so many more views than me. I got nothing. I don't begrudge them of a single view or subscriber. The more the merrier. We need more people in this movement. That's why I'm not going to talk bad about them. Greg's a Jim. Okay, Scratch, thank you. Even King David used to go to battle with his armies to destroy the evil ones, trying to destroy his father's laws and way of life. It may come too soon. Even Abraham and Lot. That's what it might take. And I'm going to say, I got to build and you run and coop. Okay. I appreciate you, Greg. Your videos are great content. Thank you, Judy. I need you guys promoting my stuff. Spread it as much as you can. Pickaxe Prepper, Southeast Virginia now. It's very good. Oh, my chat's disconnected. What happened? Oh, I wonder if I lost my signal. I'm just scrolling through stuff and I got at the bottom. My chat is disconnected. Somehow what's in the bottom? Am I out of signal? What's going on here? This battery is really getting low. Oh, I got signal. It's connected. All right, this is messed up, guys. Rocket Man, I wrote Nate a long invite, so hopefully he will respond favorably. I'm sudden. You see it happening there, Greg, brother. Hey, that's a good point. Arnold has been promoting the idea of me having an interview with Nate. It would probably help my channel grow immensely. It would get us out there, get us seen by a lot more people if I did show up on his channel. So it would help our cause quite immensely. And I could give Nate information he don't get anywhere else. He doesn't have the data and hasn't interviewed anybody talking about the risk of spent fuel rods or what we could do about it. So I don't just talk about risk. I bring solutions. I got that petition that you could all join in on, which you guys did so greatly. You got 4,000 of those sent out. You guys did that. You are awesome. So we could go, I could talk about that. I could talk about how worm farming is the perfect grid down business to be in, maybe. Or I could talk about, any number of different topics with Nate. If he wants to if he wants to ask questions about space, we could cover that too, but it's probably not his forte. You need a production team, Greg. Yeah, that'd be nice. All right, so I've lost a lot of chat because it's been some time since I was talking about that. Apparently my chat timed out. You can see here, I am going to probably shut it down here. This battery is about dead. I'm going to try to re-engage it from here because this battery is getting challenged. I don't have anything else open here anyway. What is this data limit? I've got something I got to kill here. I got a program running that should not be running on this computer, but I'll deal with it later. I'm going to shut this thing down. Ding, 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 ding. Sleep. And I'm going to open it up in here, reopen my browser. And oh yeah, looks beautiful hourglass that Granny Lannon gave me. I used to have another one that broke. She was missing it, so she sent me one. Let's see here, guys. I am going to open my browser again from here. This computer don't crash on me. And we're going to see what you guys are saying. I might even share this to share some videos. Ding, 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 ding. Here we are. Maybe I can find the chat that I missed. There we are. All the sun says it happens. Okay. How far I got to go back up to see? Mandarin Gross is timed out for Cha-Cha. Really? Matterman's been pretty good. What's going on? How come? What's Matterman Gross getting in crosswise with Cha-Cha? What's happening, guys? Wow, I see that a bunch of times in here. All right, Cha-Cha, why are you taking such exception to Matterman? All right, this is not scrolling back up to where I was at. It starts out with Arnold's comment, God will shorten the days. At least there shall be no flesh left on earth. I always found that interesting. You know, what's that? Nuclear war? Or maybe it's just all the nanoparticles we're creating and putting in our system today. Holy smoke, do you realize they're putting nanotechnology in food? Really? Literally? That's nuts. That's why you don't need to be eating processed food. That's why you don't need to be buying stuff in the store. You need to grow your own food for your own health. Oh yeah, check out my link to True Leaf Market and get seeds right now. You need to be planting your garden. Good time to go to the True Leaf Market, check out my links, send me my videos, or go to prepwithgreg.com. But use my links to True Leaf Market because I'll get a little commission out of that. Helps me. Won't cost you a penny more than if you went straight to their website. Been up all night again. Hey, I'll scratch you're here now. I know you are. It must be daybreak there. Thanks, Greg. Great stream, says NM Condon. I guess that New Mexico. Is that what the NM stands for? Knox Jackson, too old and not in the best of health to have to bug in. So you have to bug in, huh, Michael? Yeah, I guess it'll be a problem. The older we get, the harder it is to bug out. It's starting to get, we almost have to bug in. Thanks, Space Girl. Mighty nice of you. I don't even know what she said because my comments are not going back that far. Michael Jackson only because Putin only accepts rubles. So what's Matterman Gross getting? Cha-Cha, what's happening with Matterman Gross? Why are you timing them out so much? Wait a minute, Cha-Cha. Maybe you're being a little heavy-handed there. I just viewed this message that you timed out where he says, me too, Michael. What did Michael say? Michael Jackson says, already ruble done better than the dollar. Then he said, too old. Okay, to bug in. Well, what's wrong with that, Cha-Cha? Come on, Cha-Cha. Hang on. You might be playing heavy-handed here. Don't be heavy-handed, guys. I mean, you know, if somebody's cursing, take the comment out. If they're disrespectful to people, take the comment out. Maybe he said something, he took everything else. We'll say they're banking in gold. Now he is smart and I don't like him. We're talking about Michael. Let's see. Reserve currency dollar could go kaput and Russia wins economic war. Yeah, it could happen. Our side has made some dumb moves. We do have a fiat currency, Michael. Let's see. Is Alaska considered once Russia? Alaska was Russian. They sold it to us. We bought it from them. And since we bought it, it's ours. So they shouldn't be trying to ask for it back. Madam Gross, I believe, and people in Alaska are either Native Alaskans or Americans. There are so few descendants of Russian, but most of them are American. I believe it was Chrosniak that said I'm reading a deleted comment here, though my memory might be off a bit. Kill it. Okay. I see why that was deleted. For one, well, we'll talk about offing people. That's not good. Okay, Matterman. Don't talk about terminating people, okay? That's not a good thing to do. I can see why Cha-Cha deleted that one. All nations will wonder after the beast, saying, who can defeat the beast? Who can cause for lightning to come down from the sky? Yeah, Arnold. Yeah, with the satellite technologies, we could actually do that. Math grammar. Guess will work after an EMP. Yeah, it should. You may have control systems that might get fried. Okay, one of Madam's comments that was deleted says it would be good to come out with a renewable gas fuel like a wood gas powered car. That comment didn't need to be deleted. That comment didn't need to be deleted. I don't know if you just mass deleted a bunch of his comments, but the one where he talked about often people, that's a little bit too much. But Madam Gross had some good comments in here. Still have a silver certificate. Okay, that's good. But it's still paper. Supposedly it can name silver, but it's not silver. That's why I like gold backs. You actually have gold in them. You know, at a thousandth of an ounce, at the troy ounce at the minimum, which is, you know, a small amount that's you could trade for bread and things, you know, without. Problem with gold is it's so valuable it's hard to trade it. But a tiny amount like that you could easily trade. No freedom of speech here. You're right. You're right, Scratch. Tez U says the German Energy Secretary just announced that people should learn living with 15 degrees Celsius in their house during winter. Reminds me of, there you go. Practice the 5. Yeah, see, they want to take away your energy. They want you to freeze in the winter. Yeah, and one of the things that they used to say about the agenda number 2, eins, you know what I mean by that, you know, dos uno, was air conditioning is unsustainable. Whoever wrote that obviously don't live in Alabama. Drops talking no to engineers. I work with China and has their families there, most from Hong Kong. Okay. Now, a lot of your Chinese engineers working here have been compromised or been forced by the government to give things up. So, well, one of the comments that's deleted from Madam Gross just said awesome drops. I don't see why that needed to be deleted. Drops Family Garden. My family came in from 1956 on a cargo plane. This whole family, my dad did. He got his degree at UAH, hey, my alma mater, and worked with the helicopter and plane structure projects, including the space shuttle. All right, Ace Lee. Went to UAH, my school. All right, he's 4 years older than me. So when did he go to UAH? He probably went before me because I got a late start on it. I might have ran into him. Ace Lee, is there any chance I know your dad? Stands for the yellow heart. Okay. What's this other Madam Gross? He was one of my favorite people. Yeah, there's a lot of good comments from Madam Gross that have been taken out, Cha-Cha. Now, maybe when you time them out for 300 seconds, maybe it take out a bunch of his comments at once. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, these may be comments he made after he made the comment about often, folks. I don't know how this happened. Some of these comments are okay. Now, don't talk in around here about often people, okay? Look at because that can get my channel banned. If you're in here advocating breaking the law, that could get us in trouble, especially eliminating people, terminating people. We don't go there. Even though we have leaders in our national government, we'll talk about that. They shouldn't either. Look at the 10 Commandments, whichever Western nation based their rule of law on. Now look at every single one of them being tossed out the window. You're right, Arnold. You're right. 10 Commandments are important. And all these countries toss them out the window. That's when I got to question Putin's Christian authority. Some people think that he moves with Christian authority, yet he himself offs people and imprisons people and poisons people. So that's not a very Christian mode of operation in my book. He started out small as a homestead prepper and did not have much money. Okay, Michael Jackson. Now, who are you talking about there, Michael? Started out small as a homestead prepper and did not have much money. Who are we talking about, Michael Jackson? 3:45 a.m. and the wind has stopped. Yay! Cha-cha. Did I miss something from Matterman? Appreciate your stuff, Greg. Much love from Britain. Okay, Graham Owen. Good to see you here. Drops the wind is a horrible earlier. We had some awful wind here. Got an X1 class headed our way with do drops after the 2 M class flares this week. Yeah, there were 2 of them that collided with each other. That's why we got a G3 storm. Dallas Homestead says it's still raining. Yeah, I guess the rain stopped here. I got to go out. It is 3 a.m. here, and I got to go out and water my microgreens. It's also often 3 a.m. I set the hourglass tea. Oh, I'm bad. I'm sorry. I got it wrong. Wasn't Granny? It was Judy that sent me the hourglass. My bad. You're right. Judy. Dallas Homestead. Judy Dowell sent me this. All right. Thank you, Judy. Yeah, Judy sent me this. That's right. That's right. And Judy sent me some other stuff too. She sends me a lot of beard balm, guys. So, and mustache balm, comb for that. And she's got a product line that I might start putting on my websites and promoting. We got to talk about that. Oh, this smells good. She sent me this package, guys. It smells good. The package smells good. So I'll just show you a couple of things in it. And her brand is Hey Jude Botanicals Lumberjack Beard Balm. And got this Hey Jude Botanicals Bacon Me Mustache Wax. Bacon Me. Wow. Let's have a slight bacony smell to it. A little bit hard though. We'll work on that a little bit. So she also sent me a letter. I know why I got mixed up, because you sent me the letter to send to Granny. I got my brain crossed here tonight. I did send Granny the letter. I put it in the mail. That's why I got my brain crossed tonight. Sorry about that. 100% handmade. This soap she's making. She also sent me the stuff that I'm supposed to sniff in case I get an ocular headache, ocular migraine. Ocular migraine don't hurt. It's just you get this lights in your field of vision. It's like looking through a kaleidoscope with bright, shimmering lights of multicolored. No nanoplastic found in human blood. First time you ever find them. You're not supposed to smell this stuff unless you're having ocular migraine. That's strong smell. It's good. Yeah, the other find plastic in human blood. What's plastics do? They alter your hormones. They tend to make you more feminine, which is an estrogen mimicker. So guys won't be masculine. They won't stand up for freedom. So they won't have patriots that would take care of making sure that tree of liberty is watered. Interesting, right? Very interesting how, we could come up with plastics that are biodegradable. They don't have that junk in them. Are we doing that? Oh, no. There's no effort to do that. That's exactly what we ought to be doing. All of a sudden, think she is sleeping. Oh. Probably a mistake. Yeah, it might have been. Well, Madam did make one comment. I did find one comment that should have been taken out. maybe when she timed him out for 300 seconds, and he might have been trying to continue to comment. That might be what happened. But usually Matterman's got some really good comments. But we can't. Some things we can't say on here. Like India switched so they could trade oil and gas. India's always been an ally of Russia, but they're very much against China, and we started current a lot of favor with India lately. But now they're kind of stepping back away from us. But if we had good leadership in Washington D.C., they would have figured that out. If we had good leadership in Washington D.C., Russia would not have invaded Ukraine. We'd probably got Russia on our side, because Russia's true long-term enemy is China. But we've got them convinced that we're their long-term enemy, unfortunately. So that is a huge mess up on our side. Paul, we have messed up bad. Asteroid and inbound. Asteroid. There's nothing that I'm worried about that we know of from asteroids at the moment. It's a quote from a sniper of Vietnam. Yeah, okay, madam. Yeah, it was a quote, but we got to be careful what we put on here. Stating as a quote might have been okay, but this platform is very persnickety, so I can see why that was taken out. It might have just trickled everywhere. Where is Cha-Cha? Is she asleep? Or did she get unhappy because I was getting on to her? I was just asking why the madam was timed out, that's all. Don't be sensitive, guys. Don't have thin skin here, guys. Don't be thin-skinned. We got to be tough here, guys. We're facing tough times. We all got to stick together. Don't be thin-skinned here. Hang in here. Don't give up. If I come across to you and kind of get on to you a little bit, don't go running for the hills. Stick it out. I think she's probably in bed, though. It is late. It is late. Ryan's talking scratch. Michael Jackson. That is not Christian. I know you're talking about my comments with Putin. Yet there's people that really defend him to the hilt, including some of my old-time, long-term subscribers, was really getting onto me in some of the comments I've seen in the past. Michael Jackson, y'all look at what Biden has said by accident. Oh, Biden's horrible. Creedmoor. Is it Creedmoor? I thought it was Creekmore, Michael. Did I get it wrong? I've been calling him Creekmore. Is it Creedmoor instead of Creekmore? Why I've been calling him Creekmore? Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, if a guy gets more views than me, I got nothing against that. He should. But why am I not getting more views? That's my point. Look, the prepping channels all should be doing really well. I don't begrudge any prepping channel for doing well. I'm just wondering why I'm not doing better. All right. Gee, thanks for the apology. Well, thank you. Hey, I'll admit when I'm wrong in a heartbeat. So if y'all can correct me, I'm good with that. I got a righteous hate going on right now, Greg. It's called Snow is Falling Outside. Uh-oh. Oh my God. Where are you at, Brian? You got snow falling. Bless your heart. Rena, have you heard about Patriot Switch? What is Patriot Switch? Folks, someday you might want to check out Johnny Cash's When the Man Comes Around. He has some good songs. His driver used to live in the town I grew up in, by the way, in Albertville. Hey, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm is here. It's Randy. So you just got up, Randy. We ain't even gone to bed yet. See, I keep getting booted from mod duty. Stairs everywhere, mate. Well, I hadn't booted you there, Scratch. Final check. Hey, Greg, found you through Worm Vids. I just started in on my own worm bid. Thanks for all the information. Keep up the good works. Well, thank you there, Violence Jack. Am I saying it right? Violence. Yeah, you spelled a little different, but that's cool. Yeah, I just came out with I just posted a new worm video today talking about, what kind of worm, because people are, they think if you got worms, you can sell worms. And they asked me, if you got worms, if you got worms, you can sell them. Well, yeah, I got worms. I got a lot of worms, but I'm not ready to sell them yet. They're not ready to be sold. I need a lot more before I start selling them. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. And what I showed you the worms I got in that video. I showed the worms that's out there. They're good looking worms. I've got great worms now. And that's why I'm not selling worms right now. I got to get the population up to par. I can't afford to go out and try to make up for running out of sales by buying worms from other people that aren't at the quality that I want to deliver to you. When you get worms from me, you're going to be getting good worms. I'm not going to be selling you stuff that's going to run away on you, the little bitty blues. Now, blues are small. Blues are they're real fast and move around. They crawl differently. Their clintellum is subducted, not to the outside. You can see clearly what kind of worms I got. They're big worms. They're reds. They're good reds. You can fish with them. So you can see what I got. And I walk through the beds. And when you see my videos, you see me going out in the beds and digging. I'll just walk up the bed and start digging in it. You're going to see what I got. Anyway, so new days. For me, rule of thumb is to remove comment that is inappropriate. Second infraction is 300-second timeout. Yeah, that's the way it ought to be. Don't put them in 300-second timeout right off the bat. I think maybe that was a problem, but it might have been an accidental click too. Have an excellent rest of the evening into the morning. GG, it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's already tomorrow. Tomorrow's a day it never comes, except it is tomorrow. As a rule, I only time out for disrespect. Okay, Scratch, that's a good idea. She has animals to tend to there, Rocket Man. Okay, very good. Yes, she does. She does have a lot of animals. And I got some plants I got to go out and tend to in a minute. Michael Jackson, you might be right about Creed or Creek. I don't remember. Yeah, he's got 40-something thousand subscribers. His channel is smaller than mine. Not a whole lot, but it is smaller than mine. But his videos get way more views. Like I said, I don't begrudge him. He should get every view he gets. But why am I not getting more? Why am I not getting more? See, that's what I'm finding. Typically, a channel my size gets 3 to 4 times more views than I get on my videos. 3 to 4 times more. When my channel was smaller, I was getting more views than I get today. Why is that? You see? Johnny Cash, says Michael Jackson. Good song. What me worry? Picture of Alfred E. Newman here. Dallas olive oil, sunflower oil, coconut oil, Wesson Crisco oil, any this is 1/4 ounce or so mixed with a stick. Let it cool and put the lid back on. Okay, just add a little oil to it. That's what you're saying. Olive, sunflower, coconut. And coconut also congeals with cooler weather. Well, it's about to get warm, so I do like coconut oil. Olive oil is good. Drops finally embrace the no-till method. Let my chickens go wild in the beds. There you go. Now you do have to aerate it. That's where the broad forks come in. Just a slight touch of the phone can do it. That's true, all the sun. That might be what happened. And she could have been sleepy. So yeah, I mistakenly touch things all the time. Worms crawl across the desert here. Really, do they? Cool. I got a small prepping channel, says Brian Keith. I got 231 subs, like 20 views. LOL. Had my channel for a little over a year. Oh well for me. Hey, everybody go check it out. Brian Keith's got a channel. Go out and check him out, guys. He's in Hutchinson, Kansas. Yeah, go everyone go look at Brian's channel. How do you do that? Just highlight his name. Do Control-C to copy it. Go over to the browser. Let's do that. We're going to do it together. We're going to do a share screen. Ding. Ding. Oh, where do my comments go? So I just went to Brian Keith's name. I highlighted it. I hit the Control key and the C key. It does copy. We're going to come up in here, bing, and we're going to hit YouTube, and we're going to in the YouTube search bar, not the one up there. I want to hit that. And it's going to take us to Brian Keith. That's the Brian Keith I think about. Might be hard to find you. $38,000 views. Now there's a Brian Keith music. You may just have to send us your URL because you got a very common name, and it's the name of a movie star. So it may make it very hard to find you if you got a small channel. Well, here's a DAP 2030 coming up, food shortages. As I'm searching for Brian Keith, oh, that's under previously watched. Okay. Well, okay, I'm not going to, if it's going to previously watched, then it's not going to find you in this search. Normally you can find somebody like this, but Brian Keith is a very common name, unfortunately. Let's just click YouTube, see who comes up here. Hey, North Shore Preparedness is live right now. Well, it's really late for him to be live or early, whichever case may be. Might want to do a room raid over there. You might want to go there after I finish up here. There's the guidestones, which my buddy, Leak Project just covered this 10 hours ago, map of occult ley lines. Hey, I shipped worms to a farm not even a quarter of a mile from the Georgia guidestones a couple of years ago. I think my worms are undermining it as we speak. So my worms will take care of that. The aftermath of an EMP, an angry prepper. A day ago. Okay, he's already got 13,000 views here. He is no engineer. He knows very little about the topic. I don't begrudge his views, but I don't get that many views when I do a video on this. I do not get this many views, nowhere near as many. Wow. And I bring expertise. I chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. I'm on 2 national power grid defense committees. I am an electrical engineer. I know all the people that are out there trying to get a grid hardened personally. So it's kind of amazing the number of views he's getting there. Now here's one of your channels that just shows worms eating stuff over a period of time, time lapse photography. I should do that. Those would be so easy for me to do. And those videos get tons of views. 3 million views. Holy smoke. Yeah, that's what I should be doing. There's Nate on his channel. That's what his latest topics are. This is the channel that most of y'all watch on my channel. His is the most favorite channel. Now, this isn't really his latest. This is just what he's putting on top. If you want to see what his latest videos are, go up here and click videos. That's just his playlist. You click videos, you will see that's his latest video a day ago. Now, this is a good one. I watched this. You can see it's red all across the bottom. That means I watched that video entirely. This one, that one, that one. I watched part of that one, part of that one. I watched that one. I watched that one. I watched that one, part of that one. You can see I watch his videos. No kidding, guys. I'm not kidding. I watch Nate's stuff. I thought I watched that one. It's not showing like I did, though. Actually, I know it did. It's not showing the red line across the bottom, though, for some strange reason. So, I watch Nate's videos. I watch Canadian Prepper. So, and I encourage y'all to watch them. I encourage y'all to watch all these Prepper channels. Ed with Prepper Nurse One. I like him because he is also into farming, and he gives shout outs to all the other Prepper channels. I think that's a good thing. Prepper Nurse One, Ed, check him out. He's one of my favorites. He's just a good guy. Alaska prepper. That guy's sweeter than a tub of sugar. He's a nice guy. There's some channels I'll give some quick shout outs to. Anyway, so what else was I going to show? Let's go back to YouTube. There's something else I was wanting to show you guys earlier, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. This guy lives here in Alabama. He's not too far from me. Full spectrum survival. Check him out. Here he is. No, that's Dave Canterbury. It's not Creekmore. I like Dave Canterbury. You know, he got knocked out of that show, Dual Survival, but he always showed good stuff, good techniques. I liked his techniques. This guy, I don't know about him. I'll watch him somewhere. Creekmore. He should be up here. Oppenheimer Ranch Project. I'll give a shout out to Diamond. Let's see, earlier we saw the video from Rex, so give a shout out to Rex. Here's a guy I like watching, Black Scout Survival. This is a good guy right here. I like him, like his channel. TFI Global is an Indian channel. They bring a lot of interesting perspectives, but sometimes I find them to be wrong. I like China Uncensored with Chris, what's his name? He is really good. And he also does America Uncovered. Steve Turley covers a lot of conservative topics. He's got some good stuff. Of course, there's Elite Project again. Isaac Arthur, I like him from a science and engineering standpoint. Angry Pepper wouldn't be showing up if I didn't watch him some. Now, hey, I've seen Aurora Borealis look just like this, guys, with spirals. I have seen those spirals. That's live. I wonder if it's actually showing a live Aurora at this moment. I got clouds here. I can't see them. Oh, Lord, there's my commercials. You can see what I'm buying because that's the commercials that show up on us. Let's look at this real quick. Is this live Aurora? Oh, it is. Wow. When I lived in Alaska, I could look south to watch the Aurora. Is this live? What's the sound? I bet he's recorded that and is playing it. It could be live. Looks mighty. Nah, there's different views. It's cutting back and forth different views. He's recorded snippets and he's replaying them. But look at that, guys. Isn't that beautiful? They usually don't move that fast unless it's a very strong storm. I was in Alaska on one occasion. It looked like God poured finger paint out in the atmosphere and took his hands and just went through it like that. Yeah, it was very fast, very colorful, and it didn't even look like the curtain bells you normally see. It was wild looking that night. That was the night I actually went to the University of Alaska and met Gerard K. O'Neill. Now, I don't necessarily watch every channel on there. Some of these I haven't seen. Medi History, I might have watched that. Kentucky Ballistics, okay. I haven't seen that one. That looks like a good channel. So there's a lot of channels out here putting out a lot of stuff. A lot of them are interesting. You can check them out. Here we are live. And we're going to end being live. I want y'all to go out and join North Shore. He's only got 36 guys. We're going to end this video in a moment. We're going to do our prayer session. It's already nearly 3:30. Oh my God, I'm not going to get to bed before 4 tonight. I got to go out and water microgreens. So let me stop the share. Check comments here real quick. Nate is a smart, educated man who questions things over and over. He does. That's what I like about him. To see if there is another hidden angle, which some folks miss. Yeah, he's open-minded about that. And that's that. So he's a good analyst because of that. He doesn't come in with a lot of presuppositions. So, you know, I like Nate. No doubt about it. Drop says, I have like 100 people say they have learned a lot from my channel. All right, so check out Drop's channel, everyone. New Days has shared a video here. Check that out. Madam McGraw's phone won't do that. Jesse Mills, well, phone is dying. Everyone, great night. Scratch, take care of Jesse. All right. Brian Keith, yeah, I recorded a few vids lately, but I've been so busy. Sometimes I got video I did last April. I haven't uploaded yet. I'm still editing it. It's going to take me a while to get around to it. I'm building plywood box worm beds. So that's a project I still got to complete. It takes a lot of, I put a lot of time into it already. I mean, a lot of time. And I still haven't finished that video. Some of my videos take enormous amounts of time. The sled bed video took a lot of time to put that together, but I got it out and I got a little song in the front of it. So that's a fun video, I think. I love my sled beds, guys. Those are I'm turning out like those best. I really didn't know if it would be a good worm bed when I went into it, but I thoroughly love them. Brian, if I type in search Brian Keith Prepper, my channel pops up with my face. Oh, well, okay, Brian, because it's your channel. Your browsers are used to you. Unless you're the Brian Keith, the actor. Are you Brian Keith, the actor? All right, we got to go here, guys. It's late. We got to do our prayers on the right side chat room. If you would, yeah, I'd like you to click the three dots. You have the option to go to that person's channel. Oh, okay. Go to channel. Oh, she's exactly right. Okay, very good. I hadn't paid a lot of attention to that. So there you go. You click the three dots next to the person's name, and you can go straight to their channel. That's awesome. Jack New Days on the right. All right, you know what? I may have to do that here in a minute. New Days is sharing a lot of stuff here. Don't let Greg have seen the chat. Okay, yeah, I haven't scrolled down. I just clicked the bottom. Yeah, I'm behind, guys. I'm behind. Let me go back at what I missed. Yeah, 2030, good too. Yeah. I've met David Devine. He's a nice guy. I've met him in person, and I've actually interviewed him once on my channel. Doing mod at North Shore right now. Okay, drops is very good. Drops, I just made you a moderator. Especially we posted Brian's channel above. Okay, so Brian's channel is posted above. New Days posted, I suppose. I'm gonna go back into share mode. I was trying to get out of it because I was ready to call it a night here, going to our prayer session. But since I see that, I'll go back into it. Well, I'll go there together. Ding, 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 ding. Hang on. So just for illustration, the lesson that I was taught here by New Days, I hadn't paid attention to. Come up here to Brian Keith, go over here, like how I'd make him a mod maybe. I hadn't paid attention to everything. A pin message, you can pin it, report it, remove it, put them in timeout, and then you're going to do all that if you're a moderator, make them a moderator. Any of you can do this, so go to channel. I think any of you can do that. And we're about to go straight there. Brian Keith, 236 subscribers. Subscribe, bang the update notification bell, and click all. That's how you go about subscribing to a channel, my friends. Nothing made this month. Last 30 days. How can you do 21 videos in the last 30 days and this be NA? I don't get that. 37 videos total. Really? So you've only put a video. I think these counts are wrong. Here's Brian Keith. Seeds. That's very good. Prepping cannon jar and lids. Guys, cannon jars are very vital. Seeds are very vital. Guys, I keep telling you, buy seeds. All right, guys. And so who you subscribe to here? Angry Prepper, Magic Prepper, Full Spectrum Survival, City Prepping, Canadian Prepper, I hope I show up down here. All right, Brian. I'm giving you a shout out, so add me in down here. Alaska Granny. She's pretty good looking for a granny. We got some good looking grannies on this channel too. Patriot Nurse, I love her. She's a real patriot. Prepper Nation, Prepper Now, Prepper Princess, Alaska Prepper. This is a guy I was telling y'all, he's such a nice guy. And yeah, she's got a good channel. All right. And I like anything Alaskan because I lived in Alaska 2 years. Alaska is a tough place. All right, Brian, maybe I'll get you some subscribers tonight. We'll kick your numbers up from 236. We'll bump it up a little bit at least. Maybe if it wasn't so late, it would give you more. All righty, guys. Now I'm going to stop share. Just learn a little lesson there. The day you learn something's a day not wasted. That's what my daddy used to always say. Oh, my beard's getting out of going wild on me here. All right, put some beard balm in. But I'm going to take a shower next chance I get. So, folks, here's what we need to do. We need to pray for Randy Bly of Blue Bottle Bunny Farm that he fully recovers from the cancers he's been fighting. Let's pray for Granny Lana's granddaughter Kaylee. Let's pray for but put your prayer request in the chat room, guys. Let's pray for our world right now. Our world is in grave danger. We're in grave danger of war. It's never been, I've never seen it like this in my life. So we really need to pray for the world, guys. We are in a dangerous situation, and we need to pray that we get a power grid hardened. Scratch called Sheesh. Means bear in Alaska. There you go, Brian saying thanks. Anybody else got a prayer request? We need to do a quick prayer here. I got to go. It's 3:30 in the morning. We've gone long tonight, over 3.5 hours. Dougal messing with you. Okay, Brian, they messing with me too. Pray we don't have a war. Amen, Matterman. Drops my link for gardening and prepping. Southern Sown and Grown. Hey, that's probably a channel to check out too, guys. That's a good name. Southern Sown and Grown. J.R. Farmer, prayers for my family. Okay, J.R. Farmer, pray for his family. Let's pray for all the people who suffered by these storms tonight. These storms really destroyed a lot of property, homes. These people need your help. Let's pray for them. All right, let's go to it. And if other people in the chat put other things to pray for, if you see it, pray for it. And you go to bed tonight, this morning, tomorrow morning, whenever you manage to crawl in the sack or you get a chance to say a prayer for these people. You have an angel voice girl at Southern Grown and Sown. Okay. So Drops just checked out Southern Grown and Sown. That sounds cool. Southern Grown and Sown, where are you from? You must be from the South. So I can go to that channel. I'm not sharing videos right now. But 552 subscribers at Southern Sown and Grown. And okay, it looks like you're in Tennessee. I am really close to Tennessee. I'm closer to the center of Tennessee than people in Memphis or Knoxville. Because Tennessee is such a long state. I'm going to hit a subscribe. All right, Southern Grown and Shown and Grown. Got a new sub. So I'll have to check you out later. I'll pray when the video ends. Okay. Well, we're going to pray here together in a minute. 4:30, kiddos. Yeah, you're late, Judy. Sorry about that. We got to go. We're in Tennessee. Tennessee's long. Are you close to me or are you at one of the other ends? If you're up in Nashville, you're only 2 hours away from me. If you're between here and Nashville, you're 2 hours or less. Knoxville, okay, you're about a 3-hour drive. So you're up there close to David Devine then. He's in the Knoxville area. Have you crossed him? You're up close to David Devine. Just gave me a lot of salafy seeds today. So, okay, very good. All right, let's do our prayers, guys. Let's do our prayers. I'm going to tell you how to pray. That's according to you and your faith, and between you and your maker. But I do believe in the power of prayer very much. That's why we do this. And we're family. Family members pray for each other. So, Harlan County, Kentucky. There's places in Kentucky that are closer to me than South Alabama, by the way. Eastern Tennessee. Very good drops. Let's pray. Amen. Love you. All right, Southern Grown. Shown and grown. Appreciate that. All right, peace on earth. Yes, Ace Lee. Amen. All right, everyone. We've had a good long night here. We've gone long, and we still have 97 people in our chat room. That's pretty good for me. But one of these days, maybe my channel will grow. We're going to have thousands in the chat room like a lot of other channels. You know, I'll go to some chat rooms. They got 24,000 people in the chat room. Anyway, salvation, says Drops Family Garden. That's a good one. Well, I'm about to have to go outside. I got chores to do before I go to bed. Chores to do. New days. Good night, morning, all the above. All right, everyone. Let me go back to my, get out of my browser room and go here on Zoom. So, everyone, I want to thank all the super chatters, especially we have 2 super chatters tonight. I want to thank all you mods. You've been busy and working tonight. You know, it's always a big job to be a mod, and you help keep the channel clean. And it keeps us on the air. So thank you. We couldn't be here without you mods. You're vital to the sustenance of any channel that goes live. So thank you for that. I want to thank everyone for watching. All you watching, that's what makes these videos work. If y'all wasn't watching, nothing would happen. And I appreciate y'all for hitting the like. How it works with the algorithms. That really keeps me on here. We need more likes, folks. I really need more likes on my videos overall. Maybe that would help them get out there and get promoted. So, guys, I appreciate all you. We're family. Remember that. And always remember there's more of us than there is of them. The final thing I like to tell everybody is that just as light dispels dark, love dispels hate. Go out and shine your love light into the world. Let's make each one of us can start making this world a better place by doing that. That's what I got to say tonight, guys. So with that, I'm going to say